Hello, 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 hi, hi, hello, hello, hi. I don't know where I'm going with that. I'll stop now. Hey everyone, welcome, welcome. It is Sunday. It is therefore Warhammer Sunday. Yes, that time of the week when I work on either my Warhammer army, as I haven't been doing for the last year and a half, or catching up on my Warhammer Conquest part work builds to get them all built ready for painting later in the year. There's some crap on my glasses and I can see it right there. Hang on. Straight away, and I'm needed to do maintenance. Hey everyone, hello, 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 welcome, welcome. If you've not seen one of these before, I'll be working on my Warhammer bits, doing some buildy, and it's more just about you guys hanging out. I'm just cleaning my glasses. It's more about you guys hanging out in chat, having a good time, while I theoretically crack on with some work. And I say theoretically because more often than not, I do very little work. I just sit and chat with you guys. I know, but hey, excuse me. Of all the distractions I could have, you guys are the best distractions. Now with me as always is Guthorm, who'll be monitoring your chat, and of course, if you can see him, where is he? There he is. And if you can see him there, your chat is here on my iPad. As always though, I do have the chat in front of me, but I've also got my bottle bottom model making glasses and my flippy flappy telescope of seeing things. So that will be really blurry. So if you want to catch my attention, please put your comment in big capital letters so I have a chance to see it. Or if you want to, you can do the super chat, which is the dollar symbol at the bottom of the chat window. That puts your comment in a coloured box, puts an animation up here somewhere over Guthorm's face, and then there's no way for me to miss your comment. But you don't have to do that, but you can do. Before we get going, quick shout out to the people that make all my content possible. First of all, my patrons, my patreon.com/model making guru supporters, people that support me on there. They pay me monthly with their hard-earned cash to keep this channel going, and they keep me in kits and equipment and tools and keep the lights on. So massive thank you to them. And also my YouTube channel members, who became members by pressing the join button at the bottom of any of my videos or on my homepage. They also support me each month, so both those groups, massive thank you to them for basically paying my wages and keeping this channel going. So massive thank you to them. They make all my content possible. And of course, to my corporate supporters, emodels.co.uk and goblingaming.co.uk. Links to both of those two in the description below the video. They're your one-stop shop stores for model making and tabletop gaming, both. So do go and check them out. Use the links in the description below the video. That tells them I sent you and I get some income from that at no cost to you. So do go and check them out. Now, yes, we are going to be carrying on with the Primaris Repulsor, which, if you remember last week, I was trying to put together, and we were having a devil of a time getting things to fit. Yeah, I've done some custom work. I've done some. Oh yeah, I may have gone a bit crazy with the plastic card. If you remember, the side walls here and this top wall, there's a fit issue with those three and these rows of grav plate attachment points, and they left a massive gap here. And a massive gap here and a bit of a little gap there. And it looked like absolute ass magnets. It looked terrible. It looked absolute garbage. It turns out the problem is installing these strips of grav plate attachment points, because these go in place and they push this side walls out slightly, and that can lead to that gap. Now in the instructions it has you glue these side walls on, and then these grav plate parts on, and then the top bit, and then the side walls. What you need to do, basically ignore that completely. Do not attach these, build these components, but don't put them in place because they can just slot in later. Put your top piece on, put your side walls on, and leave these till later. Now everybody said to me, don't put the grav plates on, it makes it hard to paint. So I hadn't put the grav plates on. But nobody had said don't put these on. Although Cy Reynolds? Yeah, sent me a video which showed that, but I kind of wasn't paying attention. I thought it was talking about the grav plates and some other bits, but yeah, so yeah, if I make another one of these, I will not glue these parts in because it pushes. So anyway, what I've done is I've fixed it with some plastic card, or plate if you're a Gunpla builder, piece of plastic card that I cut to almost the right size, a little bit smaller than the flat panel, just to make it look more interesting, because I know it's going to stick up above the actual the shape of the body anyway, so I may as well make it an obvious extra panel. Well, I filed off the rivets, cut out a piece of plastic card just a little bit smaller than the flat plate, glued it down, stuck on some more rivets, and then did some battle damage just to kind of hide my crimes a little bit. Because it was blatantly obvious it was a piece of plastic card, and it was sinking into the gaps a little bit. So I did some battle damage with my little Dremel tool, and it now looks like something's pinged off there and scorched, like a plasma bolt has scorched that and put a big crater in there. And I've done a little one there where the plastic card was sinking into the gap. It's fine. I mean, this is my kind of thing. I put some more battle damage there and up here just to spread it out. A bit of a Falcon, Millennium Falcon style. Now, to me personally, I love doing that. That's my kind of thing anyway, but weathering and battle damage on military vehicles, it makes sense. Of course, if you're familiar with this partwork build, this has been funded by myself and by my very good friend and patron George Gabriel, who may come into chat later on, you never know. He's basically getting he will inherit all the Space Marine stuff and I'll keep all the Death Guard stuff. We're splitting it between us. So I was hoping to give him some nice, clean, pristine stuff, but he's going to get weathered now. So this sets the tone for his whole army. When I get around to painting it, there'll be damage and weathering on them. Makes them look more interesting. So I'm quite happy with how it came out. Bits of subtle damaging. I could, of course, have just used fillers and things like that, but I can't be bothered with fillers. I really can't be bothered with fillers. If I'm going to use a filler, I'm going to use sprue goo for little tiny gaps, but the gaps were just too big. On this little corner piece here, you can see a little white line there. That was literally, I just got a piece of plastic card, jammed it into the gap, glued it in place, and then shaved it down with a knife, because the gap was just about the width of a piece of plastic card. So I thought, why don't I just shiv it, sand it down, done. So there you go, some temporary, quick and dirty battle damage, which once it's primed and painted, you'll see the rivet. You can't see the rivets on camera now, but they will stand out. There's little rivets in the corner. Yeah, looks pretty good. Now, a few of you have asked what I did that with. So, I think I've shown it before, but if you're in the UK, I got this little Rotorcraft mini rotary toolkit, which you can get from, I think you can get it from emodels.co.uk, but if not, you can get it from Hobbycraft and other places. It's just a cheap Dremel knockoff, basically. It's not got any speed control, it's basically on off, but it's just a little mini rotary drill thing. And all you do is you turn it on and you get the pointy bit and you go and you drill a little hole and you make some scratchy bits and you just do that. You want to make sure it's got some sort of natural flow. Whenever I try and do damage, I always suggest that something impacts and then spreads out. So if I throw an egg on the floor, for example, it'll make a splat here, but there'll be a tail in the direction of travel. So if I throw it that way, it'll go splat, and then there'll be a tail of debris carrying on in the direction of the travel. So I always like to suggest there's been a splat there of, say, a plasma bolt or something, plunk, and then it goes and follows along the hole that way. This one is just something else. I just made that up. And this is probably just bad parking. Maybe you hit a gatepost. I don't know. So that's been done. So today we're going to carry on with that. Now, I'm going to quickly whiz through the chat and see who is in. We have, the first name I have is Lynn. Lynn Dipple's in because she's not working this weekend, so welcome, Lynn. Nice to see you. Nim Cinderin and Moar Draka. Welcome to everyone who's come along from Colin and Dave's stream earlier on, the Sunday Buddies build stream. We have Pascal was in as well, actually. Oh yeah, Pascal there just before Lynn, just underneath the top of the chat there. So welcome to Pascal. Malcolm Charles is in. Malcolm from Models for Heroes. Welcome, Malcolm. Not seen you. He says, I've not watched in ages, so looking forward to catching up. Yeah, do go and check out Models for Heroes. Malcolm runs Models for Heroes. It's an awesome charity where they provide model kits to veterans of any age, any kind of veterans of any conflict. Not just soldiers, of course, even emergency services. They're all service personnel. So any service personnel can go there. They can get kits to work on. It can help with PTSD. It can help with the relaxing. It's a social interaction with other people. It's just a really great idea. So do go and check it out. Models for Heroes. If they've got any mods in chat, excuse me. If any mods are in chat, feel free to put a link to the Facebook page for M4H if you would. So welcome, Malcolm. Nice to see you. We have Black Rifle Model Works is in. First time here, he says. He was in watching Colin's chat. Welcome, dude. Welcome, welcome, welcome. You are more than welcome to come and have a look and see how bad my building skills really are. You don't know. Black Rifle Model Works is a bit of a dab hand at the old painting and always makes Dave and Colin depressed because he puts a picture of their work and they're like, oh, I'm going to give up now. I can't beat that. But welcome to you. Moar Draka is in. We have Ghost Lyle says hello. Welcome, Ghost Lyle. Kildar0000 says hoi hoi. Hoi hoi, Kildar. We have B3 is in. Steve's in. Welcome, Steve. I was talking about you yesterday when I was showing something on the X-Wing and I can't remember what it was now. Oh, yes. Let me see if I can find it. Hang on. Maybe we're taking components out of the X-Wing. We had these little plastic things that bits came in. I was thinking that'd be perfect for Steve. He could make things out of that. It's like little recessed trays. Looks like the back of a stormtrooper, but tell you. Anyway, I was talking about you yesterday when you weren't here. There you go. Candygram from Mongo is in. Welcome, Candygram. Darren20159. Hello, everyone. Welcome, Darren. Mark 3Bs is in. Welcome to you. Dan Kramer's in. On the Miskatonic University podcast. Welcome, Dan. Wayne Haywood is in as well. Welcome, Wayne. Aries Styrene. Hey, guys. Thought I'd drop by to say hello and see what's on the bench. Swearing, probably. So welcome, Aries Styrene. It does amuse me greatly how Colin mispronounces your name. And I think I'm up to date with the chat. Hi, Aries and Beyond. I can't remember your name. Just call him Beyond. I think we're up to date with chat. So welcome to you all. If you are watching this, of course, you don't have to, but if you're watching this, you can see the archive of chat there. It's like on a 30-second delay, but if you want to join the live chat, you can do. You need to be on the YouTube page, so make sure, if you're not watching this on YouTube, if you're watching it embedded on Twitter or Facebook or somewhere else, just click on the YouTube icon that's underneath the video player, which is usually down here somewhere near the big full screen controls. Click on that and it will take you to the YouTube page where you can continue watching the stream and also join in the live chat. And you should do, because everyone in live chat is awesome. I'm taking my socks off because it's warm. Everyone in live chat is awesome and they have a good time. And this is really just about the guys in chat hanging out. It doesn't really matter what I'm doing. Anyway, people always talk about behind my back, but I'm not paranoid about it. If I talk about someone behind their back, I always do it to the face. Yeah. So we're going to carry on. Like I say, that quick fixes. I like it. I like it. It works for me. Some of the little scratches I'm not quite happy with because they make no sense. Like this one has a flow to it, carries on there, but that one there is just kind of random, so I'm not as happy with that one. But we'll see how it goes. We do, of course, have to do a little bit of clean-up from the bits we made last week. Because last week we made 2 little bits of cowling. Oh, the one other thing I did as well, to take the battle damage a little bit further, I also continued this damage here on the grav plate that sits in front. And I know I'm not making it face the camera. I did the battle damage there. I did a little bit on this grav plate as well. So that when it goes on, it makes kind of logical sense that the battle damage has hit the grav plate and then, or has hit that bit there, but has also damaged a bit of the. So I've taken a few chunks out of the grav plate as well. Which, ironically, because of the fact that this is in and this pushes the wall out, doesn't actually sit straight anyway. So it just looks a bit more damaged. So it adds towards the damage look. So if you are building this, for the love of dog, don't glue these bits in. Leave them out. I know this now. Should I ever build another one? Should I ever build another one? That remains to be seen. Anyway, let's get on with some work. So, yes, we made these little covers last week that are going to sit over the engine thruster vents, thruster nozzles. I guess they're thrusters, aren't they? The little vents at the back, the nozzles at the back. We just need to clean up this seam line on the top. Now, these were basically 2 halves that went together. We squeezed them together with a little bit of the Tamiya extra thin, and that should frankly be enough glue to hide that seam. We shouldn't do any filling of any kind on that. I'll just put it back in there. So I'll quickly do that before we crack on with the next steps. So I'm just using my very medium, very mild sanding sponge. In fact, no, I use one of the ones Kenneth got me because he got me them and I've not used them much. Yeah, we squeeze these together. A little bead of glue has come out. I don't know if you can see it on camera, but there's a little tiny bead of glue there that just fills that gap. That bead will have filled the gap because the plastic will have melted. And all we need to do is very gently sand that back, keeping the curve by curving the sanding sponge. You could use a file if you prefer. But when I'm doing any kind of compound curves like this, I prefer to use a sanding sponge just because it does naturally conform a bit better to the surface. The curved surface. Curved! Have you seen those soldiers from Markov? Curved swords. Curved swords. Curved. I hear they're reforming the Dawn Guard. Vampire hunters or something. I hate that line of dialogue. It gets all the time. Skyrim. Now, apologies this weekend if you were hoping to watch Skyrim Saturday and Fallout Friday and missed them. They were, of course, slightly cancelled this week, purely due to me having to do a catch-up on the X-Wing build. So I did a couple of X-Wing streams instead. What I plan on doing is every few months. You get 5 issues of the X-Wing part work every month. So I'm going to let them build up for a few months each time. I need my lenses down. There we go. I can see what I'm doing now. I plan on letting them build up for a couple of months each time, and then I can do like a weekend of streams doing the catching up with the issues. So Skyrim Saturday and Fallout Friday will be back next week as normal. And then after a few weeks after that, a couple of months from now, we'll do some more big binge of the Millennium. Can I? Oh, hang on, coffee. I can't get my words. Fucking rubbish. Oh. There we go. That's talking fuel. Yes, those streams, Fallout, Skyrim, will be back next weekend. And then a few months from now, probably in the new year, when we've got 3 more chunks of magazines to work on, we'll do some more X-Wing. Right, so I'm going to hold that up to the light and have a look. It looks to me like I cannot see the seam where I glued those two together. I'm just cleaning up there's little steps in the vents here. Now, in reality, of course, once this is in place, you're never going to see like the little steps between the two sides of the grills. You're never going to see that in reality. But I'll know it's there. It will task me. And I won't like it. I'll be like, come on, you have to get rid of the seams, you heathen. Yeah. I can't see chat because I've got me flippity flappity lenses down. Give me a minute, I'll have a look at chat in a second. Yeah, I'm always curving the sanding, even though it's a sanding sponge and it conforms to that curve, I'm always curving it like this. Curve. I hear they're reforming the Dawn Guard. Vampire hunters or something. I love Skyrim so much. It's just the best game in the world. If there's actually, I'll talk about it next time we do a Skyrim stream, but I discovered there's a mod for Skyrim on PC and Xbox. It might not be on PlayStation, I'm not sure. There's actually a mod called the Cutting Room Floor, and basically it reactivates a whole load of characters and quests and quest items and things that were cut from the final release of the game, but that are still in there. They're just not active. So it's 9 years after the game came out, and not only am I still occasionally finding things I didn't know about from over the last 9 years, I'm now finding loads of extra new settings and characters that I've never seen before. For a 9-year-old game, that's quite an achievement, I think. But it's true, 9 years after it came out, and I'm still occasionally coming across, like, I've never been into this dungeon before. Who's this character I've never heard of? What? It's amazing. 9 years later, and I can still just happily wander around Skyrim, just pootling about in the wilderness, adventuring. It's great. Absolutely the best game ever made. Absolutely. Right, let's have a quick look at that under the light. Smooth as the proverbial babies. Oh no, that bit isn't. Hang on. A little bit there that needs a little bit of twiddlage. Twiddlage. There you go. Oh, excuse me, burpage. There you go. Wouldn't be the same if I didn't burp. Now, I have to ask you, although I had to text Colin today on his live stream and tell him that he'd forgotten to activate his microphone. In a massive bout of irony, I then forgot to sort out my microphone before the live stream started. I forgot to check the audio, so I hope that you can hear and see me okay. And that everything's okay. I am trying. I tried it yesterday and it didn't last very long because I got carried away. I know that I get carried away when I do live streams, and when I get carried away and excited about things, first of all, I get loud, I start talking loud, and second of all, because I get giddy, I start talking really fast. And I was watching back a live stream from the other day, and I was disturbed to tell that I couldn't even understand what the hell I was saying. So, my hope is, I'm forcing myself to talk a bit more quietly. Hopefully what I'm hoping is it'll make it more appealing to listen to me waffling in the background, but also it'll keep me talking slower. So, do let me know how I'm doing. If I start talking too fast or too loud, just tell me in chat. And I'll try and prevent it. Because it's actually, you'd be surprised, but it's actually hard work to talk quietly when that's not your natural state of affairs. And for a long time I used a lavalier microphone. That fits quite nicely. For a long time I used a lavalier microphone, but it meant I had to talk quietly, and it killed my throat, which is really weird. Yeah. Anyway, there we go, they're on now. Now I'm not gluing them in because I'll need to paint them later on. Now they probably are going to end up just being the same colour as the thruster bells, the thruster nozzles. But I want them separate just for the sake of getting into this bit and painting in here. and then I can stick them on later, so that's not a problem. So we'll put them back in the bag. They are nicely, neatly cleaned up. No seam line visible. You can see a bit of a colour difference in the plastic, but once that's got primer on it, you won't know. So yeah, that'll be a lesson. You don't always have to use fillers on model kits. I hate using fillers, primarily because I suck at using fillers. But I hate using them because I'm lazy. So if I can either hide a gap with plastic card creativity like this, or adding panels or rivets or anything like that, or if I could just use some sprue goo, which is plastic dissolved in glue, by basically filling the gap with plastic, then I will. Now, important question, of course, before we get going, bench and belly. It's always the question, because it's a building stream. Bench and belly, what's on your bench? What are you working on right now? It doesn't have to be a model. It could be a drawing, it could be a painting, it could be diamond art, you could be, doing quilt work, it could be anything. What are you working on right now? I've just remembered something else I need to sound. And, of course, what are you having for your dinner, or what have you had for your dinner? Depending on the time of day where you are. Let's tip this out, shall we? There we go, that's much better. We've got to do these two exhaust pipes. So yeah, what you've been working on, what you've been working on, what's on your bench, and what are you having for your dinner. Now keep in mind, of course, I don't really care about what's on your bench. That's not of any interest to me in the context of the question. All I really care about is what's in your belly. So you can say what you're working on, but you don't need to go into detail on that. But with the food, I need to know all the filthy, lurid details. I forgot. Oh, there's two escapees. Right. Filled up. Now, we have these two exhausts here. I'll zoom in a bit so you can see a bit better. Zooming now. Can't zoom in a lot. My camera doesn't let me zoom that far. And it goes a bit pixely, but never mind. We've got these two exhausts. That's not even words, Fox, you moron. As we did with those last two cowling pieces, these are two parts stuck together and then with the glue down the middle, and the glue has been splooged out into the gap to fill the gap. So first thing I need to do is flip my glasses down and just quickly sand these back just to smooth off that bead of glue. It's a beautifully simple principle. If it's a very tiny little seam line, fill it when you're gluing it. If it's, it's two halves of a two-part piece, use the glue. But that's why you need to use something like Tamiya Extra Thin, because it melts the plastic. That's how it works. It adheres the plastic by melting the plastic. And as it melts the plastic, you put the pieces together but not fully squished, and then give it 20-30 seconds and then just go squish like that. And that melted plastic will then splooge out of the gap. And when the glue evaporates away, it just leaves the polystyrene filling the gap and squishing out. And the sanding here is just to sand back that little tiny bead of polystyrene that's squidged out of the gap. Beautifully simple way of doing tiny gaps, and very effortless. There are some people that just go at it with fillers, but I'm just utterly lazy and I can't be bothered with fillers. They're just far too much like hard work. So I don't bother with that. I do occasionally. There are situations where I have no choice. But, this one's being a bit tricky, so I'm going to have to go a bit more hardcore with this one, I think. Where's my rougher sponge? This one's got a bit more of a step between the two sides. I'm going with a slightly higher grit, just to get rid of that step. I might have to do it with the file. Actually, I don't like doing these with files on curved surfaces, but we'll be there all day otherwise. Now these are going to look a bit... It doesn't matter if I don't keep them exactly tube shaped, because again, I've put battle damage on the front of this vehicle, so I may as well make it look a little bit used and worn. Keep in mind, of course, though, that these Repulsors, in the universe of the game, they're only a few years old because they've only just been invented by Belisarius Call. Oh, all right, that's gone. Let's see where that went, shall we? Right, hang on. Let's play Find the Bit That Just Pinged. Oh, happy day. I didn't hear it land. It could be anywhere. Right, let me get my phone out with the torch. 1 second. Oh, there we go. On the floor. There we go. Very pingy, these little parts. Now, if you want a handy tip, by the way, about part ping, get yourself on Amazon. I might try and add them to my Amazon store, but get yourself on Amazon and order a couple of microfiber noodle rugs. They look like, they're just like little noodly microfiber rugs, basically. They're about, 3 foot by 2 foot. I have them on the floor under my bench and in a couple of places because I've got very, persnickety feet, and if they're on a hard surface for a while, they get really sore. So they're nice and squishy. I've got a couple of them on the floor under where my feet go to keep my feet nice and soft and delicate. Stop my feet hurting. But I've also found they're amazing for catching dropped parts. Because they're microfiber noodles, the parts just go like that. Because the noodles are like that long. It's like a pooley dog in rug form. And they just go. So if it lands, it doesn't bounce. You just know it lands on that rug. You're fine. You're never going to lose it. So get yourself some microfiber noodle mugs. Right. Let's go on with a smoother sand. Let's go with some 1000 grit. Smooth that off a little bit. There we go. Now I'm using the sticks that Kenneth sent me, the sanding sponges from Infini. And these, unlike the Ultimate Modelling Products one, they actually tell me what grit they are. So I can tell you I'm using a 1000 grit sanding sponge. Yes. Now, you have a choice here with these exhausts. These exhausts have lots of holes in them. And these are supposed to be like the little vent holes in an exhaust pipe. They're recessed on the model. And when you paint them, basically, you just get a bit of the either your Agrax Earthshade or your Null Oil or black wash or brown wash into the hole, and it just makes it look like a hole. However, what you can do if you want to is actually drill them out. I'm thinking they might be about the right size for one of the default GW drill bits. Let's have a look and see. If they are, I can use one of these. If not, I'm not going to bother, but we'll see just how big they are. This is their medium drill bit, and it is exactly the right size. We drill them out just for extra awesomeness. I think we should. It also means I can spend a lot of time not gluing things together, and then when they don't fit, I won't be unhappy. So you don't have to do this, but seeing as the drill bit is exactly the right size, it's like when you get little holes along a gun muzzle of a weapon. You could, if you want to, like if you get a melter or a flamer, they sometimes have the same little vent holes. You could, if you wanted to, drill them out. But seeing as these are supposed to be exhaust pipes, I may as well. Where's your Dremel, says Chris at Gross Models. You mean that one? That just happens to be here. Yes, I'm not doing that. Not doing that one. Have a quick look at chat before we get going though. Let's have a look. Common Road Junction's in. Hey, Common Road Junction. Beyond Hope says Belly Roysters, T-bone steak flavoured crisps, good girl. Bench 3 boxes of Battle Sisters squads, a box of Battle Sisters Retributor squad, and waiting the side 2 boxes of Orc Boys. No glue though. That was an oversight. Okay, Moar Dracker actually asked the bench and belly question because Dad was not in the chat. I'm sure the damage will look better once it has a coat of primer. Yeah, that's the thing. Battle damage and stuff like that, or custom add bits you add, or plastic plate you stick on, anything like that. Any mods you do always look garbage until you coat it in primer. Ask B3 when he does a scratch build, it always looks a bit shonky with all the different coloured bits of plastic stuck together until he puts primer on it, and then it all comes together and looks awesome. Bench paperwork for work, says Mordraka. Belly leftover mix up. I need more details on mix up. You need to explain what that is. You know the rules. I need all the filth. B3 says Belly will be fish cake burgers and chips. Bench is adding more Dakar to the Archaeopter. Become a battle mech. I like that. It is great. He's basically taken Archaeopter and he's put legs on it. So it's a battle mech basically. It's like something out of a battle mech type thing. Mark 3B's full roast chicken dinner and loads of Age of Sigmar stuff. Audio fine, video's a little blurry on my big telly, says Lynn Dipple. That's webcams for you. Not much you can do about that. Webcams are always a bit rubbish. Tiberian Sunizen says Wah to Fox and chat. Welcome, welcome. Wah back. Scale Model Muse wanders in and sets the coffee pot on the table. No food plan yet, still half asleep. Hello all. And says hello all after saying everything else. So clearly half asleep. Bench Sherman Tank Diorama, says Nim, doing the grass trying to hide this awful gap between wall and ground. Belly Kellogg's Pops cereal. Well, there you go. You see, if you get a gap in a diorama, it's supposed to be the real world. You can put anything there. You could put a little line of taller grass, bushes. You could, if you wanted to, you could put an extra row of, you could build an extra row of, say, masonry, like stones, like a curbing stone up against the wall that goes anything you want. You could just put lots of clutter and debris. Do whatever you want. It's a diorama. It's nature. There's no rules when it comes to your dioramas. Dan Kramer, Belly, Taco John's breakfast burritos. Ooh, one sausage, the other bacon. Both have egg, queso cheese, and hash browns. Is it queso or queso? Queso cheese. I think it's queso, isn't it? Queso cheese and hash browns with the meat. Bench, working on the some of the stuff. Don't care about that now. After that description of food, don't care about that. No, I do. Working on the 135th Scammell Pioneer Ver Fallout. Awesome. That's the tank truck, isn't it? The tank carrier truck. Darren says, Belly, a pint of old speckled hen. At 3:30. Not a bad idea, actually. I do like old speckled hen. No bench today. Fish tank maintenance instead. Cereal sounds good, says Muse. Honeycombs it is. Might work on the BMW R75 in a bit. Malcolm Child says, the contents of my belly are as follows. Yorkshire pudding, gravy, carrots and roast chicken with an upper layer of iced bun. Oh, I like a little hint of iced bun on the top of my roast dinner. Dampened with ginger beer. Is it lashings and lashings of ginger beer, though? Because the metric unit and even the imperial unit of ginger beer is lashings. How many lashings of ginger beer? My bench has plastic bits on it. Exactly. You know how to do it. We don't care about the plastic bit, really. It's all about the food. So Malcolm there doing exactly what we need. Belly, all this stuff, bench, yeah, something, whatever. Beyond Hope says, question, who is excited about the new Games Workshop Age of Sigmar Sons of Behemat models? 3 gigants, say that again, gigants at 120 each. Annoyed some of the Necron plastic had already been increased in price twice in 5 months. I've not seen those. I don't really follow Age of Sigmar. I do have some Age of Sigmar stuff to build, but yes. He'd kill it with a Dremel, Chris. Go on, you know you want to. No, because then I'd have to just turn the... Unfortunately, the thing with that Dremel is the drill bits aren't that great. So it'd take me half an hour to drill out the holes, and I just have to turn the microphone off because it's right there. Microphone's right there. So, yeah, it would be a bit boring. Not like drilling out one barrel of a bolter, which was truly impressive. I've got like 40 of these things. Leftover mix-up equals what is the leftovers from dinners over the last 5 days? Oh yeah, as long as it's not dangerously inedible. But that means you can do 400 characters, like 1,000 characters of all the details of the leftovers. We still want to know. Queso is just Spanish for cheese, so they call it something cheese. That's mental, says B3. Like chai tea, yeah, which is chai is tea in Urdu, so. Belly, roast chicken with roast potatoes and veg, bench, Imperial Assault ATSTs, and Judge Dredd block gang. Yes, Frankie Goes to Hobbywood is in, says hi Fox, hi everyone. Welcome, Frankie. Right, let's do some drilling, shall we? Driller. I won't sing any more of that for obvious reasons. Now, these are hollow. It says hopefully shouldn't take too long, but I'll do one of the back ones first just to be safe. Make this doesn't all go to pot, so they stick up like that. They go on the vehicle like that. So this is the back bit that most people will never see. So let's just try a test drill. Now please be ready for squeaky times. Squeaky times. This may take a while. This is going to take a while. This is going to take forever. Oh, wow, this may not be such a great idea to do live on a live stream. Oh. I love these Games Workshop drill bits, but they just don't have a sharp point at all. They're like as dull as, I don't know, Tory Party conference, probably. No, let's make it worse. They're as dull as a Liberal Party conference. It's even more dull. That's 1, 2. Looks like. You don't have to do this. Like I say, you could just quite simply use a black wash or a dark brown wash, depending on what colour you're painting the exhausts, to just shade these gaps in. But I just figured it'd look a bit more fun and interesting if they're actually drilled out. And seeing as the exhaust is actually hollow, some of the plastic's quite thick and some's quite thin, so seeing as it's actually hollow, may as well take a drill to them. May take me a few moments, so please keep yourself amused in the chat. Let's see, what can I talk about? Updates. As you know, the first episode of Tabletop Trauma Centre has been in early access. I mistakenly said over the last couple of days that it was due to go live for everyone else today. At the moment, it's in early access for Patreon patrons and for YouTube channel members who get to see it advert-free a week in advance. It's actually tomorrow it comes out. Tomorrow morning it'll go live for the rest of the internet. If you've been waiting to watch that, that's coming out tomorrow. Episode 1 of the Tabletop Trauma Center. Ja, das ist richtig. When you'll find out what the patient is. Patient number 1. I was hoping to get some more film this week, just gone. For various reasons I haven't been able to. So I need to start filming episode 2 this week coming up. I can see the actual subject of the episode is over there in my spray booth, primed in Death Guard green. Looking at me. In other news, I have taken receipt, although I've not opened the box yet because it's in quarantine. I've taken receipt of my build for the eModels Christmas live stream. If you're not familiar with this, if you remember, me, Ted, Chris and Colin, as eModels builders, we do the eModels show on a Monday. Each year for the last few years, we have done a live stream around about Christmas time, not actually on Christmas Day because we'll all be overfed and probably half cut. But around about Christmas time, we do a little 4 or 5 hour live stream where we... Oh, wow. I just did that one. And it came out of that one. At least you know they're lined up. We do a live stream where we just build a little model for 4 hours. And over the last few years, we've all done a succession of the little Meng. I should pronounce it correctly. It's Mong. A selection of the Mong World War II tanks. Actually, no, it's Mung, isn't it? It's not It's not Mang. It's Mung. It sounds really weird, but that's how you actually pronounce the name. It's because it's a Chinese name. Mung. The Mung World War II's GB tanks. And so far, I've done the Sherman, which I started off with the KV-2, the Russian KV-2 tank, which I just did as a Russian KV-2 tank. The next year, I did the Sherman, which I painted up in bluey colours and did as a Warhammer tank. So I put a little Warhammer Imperial Guard dude in the cupola at the top, waving his chainsword around. Drive me closer, I want to hit them with my sword. And then last year I did the little Matilda tank, which is just a fantastic... I do love that design of the Matilda tank. The little Matilda tank, British Army Desert Rats jobby, which I again painted up in a Warhammer. I added some Warhammer greebles to it and put a Warhammer dude in the top. This year, because I'm not really keen to do one of the boats or one of the aircraft, because I've got the Mung World War II Churchill is my tank for this year, which I don't know what I'm doing with it yet. I might just paint it straight, like it's a Churchill tank. I might Warhammer it up. I might just paint it silly. I don't know yet. Not quite decided what I'm doing with it. Many options. You gone through? No. I'm not quite sure yet. I was debating whether to do it as a Death Corps of Krieg tank. For various reasons. One, it means I don't have to do a camouflage scheme, which saves time. But the downside is I don't have a Death Corps tank commander spare. I've got a Death Corps tank crew set that I'm going to use on my Baneblade, but they're like 40 quid. Is it 40 quid? Or, no, it's 20 quid for the 2 figures. I could order some more, but I don't really want to spend 20 quid on the eModels Christmas build. Because at the end of the day, you know, with the Christmas build, we get the kit, we build it, we take it back to eModels. We should do, but I've still got some of mine. The first year, we actually bought our own kits. But the second, third years, we actually just got the guys to send us the kits for the build. So yeah. So I'm going to do the Churchill tank, but I'm not sure yet. I might splash out and get the Death Corps dudes. I don't know yet. Because there's a Death Corps tank commander and tank driver figure. They only get half the figure, but they're still like 20 quid from Forge World. So I don't know yet. I might do. I don't know. We'll see. We shall see. Because otherwise, because I was thinking if I do it as a Death Corps tank, then it's just going to look like a German tank in sort of German grey colours. Unless I have a Death Corps dude sticking out the top of it, which will make it look much better. Right, there we go. That is one drilled out. Now, you won't see on camera, but, I mean, you might do, but I don't think it'll be in focus. Oh, my lenses fell off. And I'm meant a bit, I don't seem to grip to these glasses very well. They're fine on my other ones. Yes, you can hopefully see there. Now it's all drilled out nicely. It's got actual holes. Now what I will do is, before we do anything, I will... we've seen me do this before. Whenever you drill something out like that, the last thing you do is take some extra thin. And you don't take... You have most of the extra thin taken off the brush. You just want to damp the brush and run it around the edges of the thing you've just either drilled or scraped or whatever. And what that will do is it will melt the plastic on the edges there and just smooth them out. Because whenever you do drilling, or whether you drill with a drill or a hand drill, or you've used your knife to tidy up a gun barrel or something like that, there's always a little bit of scrapey and rough texture to it. Little filaments of plastic. So by just damping the Tamiya extra thin brush, in some Tamiya extra thin strangely enough, and just running it around the inside of those holes, it just, when it melts the plastic, and of course the little fibrous filaments and stuff just dissolve away, and it makes them look nice and smooth. So when that's dry, it'll just be a nice, smooth, drilled out exhaust. I'll have a quick swig of coffee and a quick look at chat, and we'll do the other one. Nom, 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 nom. Just got a notification. Mine should be delivered by Hermes tomorrow. Yes. Now this is the weird thing. Here's the thing. I've had some packages turn up. Now I've had a package turn up that's got e-models on it, so I know that's probably my tank for my Christmas bill. However, I've got 2 other packages in Hermes packaging. I don't know what they are. Now I know e-models use Hermes quite often. Hermes used to be rubbish, but they're all right now. But I've not got any outstanding orders from e-models. So I'm like, well, hang on, that's not e-models then, is it? Unless you've sent me the kit, because I ordered a couple of paints as well. Maybe they've sent the paint separately. So I've got these mysterious 2 Hermes packages. Again, they're in quarantine, so I can't open them yet. And then another package turned up that's from Amazon, like in a sort of squishy envelope package, like a squishy bag. And then another one turned up. I'm like, hang on, I'm not awaiting any orders here. What? So I've checked with, Chris and that lot, all the mods, and they're denying all that. They've not sent me anything, because like occasionally they'll send me things, like silly stuff. But it's like, what? So now I've got like, and then Mama Fox got a package, like a big 4 foot long by 1 foot box that she's got no idea what it is. I'm like, what's going on? Now with Mama Fox, it's probably that she's just forgotten. It's highly likely. Sure, there's so much stuff. I rue the day I ever showed her how to use Amazon, because it's all just endless supply of Amazon nonsense coming through now. And so I've got no idea. Now, there's only one thing I'm aware of that was well, 2 things. One was the thing from e-models, because I ordered the kit. And 2 was something else that I ordered that never turned up, and I mailed the thing a few times, and it might turn up eventually. And the only clue I've got is that on 2 of the packages, it's got like an address at the top. And I don't know if it's a return address or it's like an address from the delivery. I don't know. It's like an address in an industrial estate. And when I look it up, all I can find on that industrial estate is a DHL depot, and it's not a DHL package, or a bakery supply company, like a big multinational company that supplies bakery stuff. And I can't really find much information about the industrial estate. And it may sound silly that I could just wait until I can open the package. I'll know exactly what it is. And I know it'll just be something that I've ordered and forgotten about. But I kind of like the excitement of having mystery package and not knowing what it is, and then having to go through all the detective work to find, is there anything on the package that gives me a clue? Can I chase it down and do some detective work? It's quite exciting. Because in one of my previous jobs, I used to do like trace and... Let's check and trace then. I used to trace detail. There's a company that had a telecoms company, and they were looking at ways of finding people who'd like outstanding bills, how to trace them and get the money off them. And so I was trying some different ways of like doing research on them and trying to find, just from their internet footprint, how to find people. And it was kind of fun. It was like 10 years ago now, but because the company didn't want to spend a fortune on like, Expedient or anything like that, any of the typical credit checking places that will give them all the information. They wanted to see if they could do it themselves without spending any money. So chumps here got to trace different things out, and it was quite fun because it was all detective work. I had to find all these customers that had left all the unpaid bills and kind of find them. And the stuff you turn up, blimey Riley. One customer ran a kebab shop, because we used to do business to business telecoms. One customer ran a kebab shop. I won't say where it was, primarily because I can't remember. He ran like a ropey kebab takeaway type place, which got closed down because one of the members of staff died in the place and was just left sitting at the table, because it had some tables, you know, it was like a little bit of eating thing, like a takeaway with a couple of plastic tables, and was just left sitting at a table. He'd basically been preparing food at a table, died of a heart attack, and they just left him there in the bit where people go and sit while they're waiting for the food for like 3 weeks. And somebody complained, strangely enough, and he got shut down, and the guy did a runner. And it's like, yeah, that's the kind of people I had to try and find before you start worrying about. Before I started worrying about things like, but this is people's information. It's like, no, it's publicly available information, and also some of these people are really not right. So I didn't feel quite so bad about having to trace people after that. Anyway, what was I talking about? No idea. I've forgotten the actual point of what I was talking about now. Oh yeah, so yeah, packages. Sometimes I enjoy the adventure of like, here's a package, I can't open it yet. Let's see if I can get any information and do some internet sleuthery and see what I can find out where it's from. And in the past, I've been able to use the information available on the packaging to find out what something is or where it's come from. And it's just something to do because I've got to sit in quarantine for a few days and I can't open them, can't touch them. So it's just a bit of fun to have, basically. That's that one drilled out. That was quite speedier. I'm quite impressed with the fact that despite these are just recessed details to suggest holes, they do actually line up in places across the two halves. So you drill through and it meets the other one on the other side. I like that. That's quality. Quality beverage. So yes, I've done what these packages are. So and I know there's a certain excitement of, because like when a package turns up, it's always a case of, this is exciting. Oh wait, no, it's just a thing I've ordered. Oh, in that case, it's boring because you bought it yourself. It's boring. But when it's, excuse me, I do apologise. When it's something that you've not ordered and you don't know what it is, it probably is just something really boring and mundane that you've forgotten about. But for a moment, you're like, somebody sent me something. What is it? What is it? It's something awesome. I don't put it past Chris and Paul and that lot and Cy Reynolds and Dad and all that to have ordered me something like, you know, and just be lying very effectively, like, you know, with a pack of spatulas or something. A lifetime subscription to Fleshlight magazine or some crazy nonsense, I don't know. It wouldn't put it past them. A box full of ledges to fall off. But they're all denying it steadfastly, and to be fair, you can usually tell when they're lying because, well, they talk. But they seem to be denying it quite steadfastly, so I think they're probably just things that I've ordered and forgotten about. But that makes it exciting. Right, let's clear all these little I love these little twiddly shavings you get when you do drilling. It's kind of adorable. Right, let's just clean up these little shavulations. A bit of tissue. So I don't know what's in them. I can't open them till I think tomorrow. So I'm not going to do a mystery package times because I suspect they're not anything interesting. And some of them are remodels anyway, so there's not anything interesting to show you. I'm just going to get them open. If it is anything interesting, if it's anything somebody sent me, I will, of course. Normally I do when I do a mystery package times. The whole point is to thank whoever sent me something for sending me that thing. But if it does turn out to be something somebody sent me, I'll just post up pictures and stuff in the boom hut and everywhere. I won't film it because some of them are just tedious, boring things that I might know about. The only reason I did that one the other day, where half of the stuff was stuff I ordered, was purely because there were so many packages, and there were a few of them that I knew weren't things that I'd ordered. So yeah. Right, that's the exhausts drilled out. A quick look at chat. Let's have a look. Some may say that, but I just call it queso. You learn such things living in Texas for 20 years. Some may call it junk. Me, I call it treasure. Everything's for sale. B3 says, leftovers. What are leftovers? I lick the damn plate clean. Ain't nothing left. I learned this week, because I'm on my low-fat, healthy food diet, under orders to not eat crappy food all the time. I can no longer, like, you know, if we have something with rice, I can no longer depend on packs of Uncle Ben's 2-minute microwave rice anymore. You know, like various flavours. I have to actually cook proper rice now because I have to have brown rice. So I've got myself some packs of brown rice, and I really like it. It's like, oh, I like this brown rice. It takes like half an hour to cook, but it's fine. You just warm it up. But I had no idea, because I'm so used to like getting a pack of rice and just dumping it in the microwave, how much rice is good for 2 people. So I read one place says 1 cup of rice and twice as many cups of water, and that should be enough per person. So the first time I made this, I got an E-Models mug, I got an E-Models mug, and said, that's a cup. I filled that with rice, put it in the pan, filled it with rice, and then 4 cups of water. It's only me and Mama Fox eating. That made, I've got a pan that's about 1.5 foot. It filled the pan. I was eating it for days. I've still not quite figured out the exact amount of rice. I don't have anything to measure in, so it really is get a coffee mug and just... I think my next test will be half a coffee mug of rice to a full mug of water per person. That might be about right. I mean, I don't mind making too much food, but yeah, there's only so much you can do, because you can't keep reheating it. You can reheat it the next day and eat it, but you can't. You know, not much you can do. But yeah, I said it above because I wasn't sure if queso was known across the pond. Says Dan. I think some people. I kind of knew roughly what it was, but I didn't know how it was pronounced. I watched it. It was really good. I don't know what that was. Just got a notification. Mine should be delivered by Hermes tomorrow, or Hermes. Paul Di Tommaso is in. Hello, Paul. I thought you were going for a snooze, dude. I hope you had a good snooze, although it wasn't very long. How you doing, my friend? I hope you're doing okay. I need to get more of those. I just have the... Oh, hello. Chat. Jumped. Hang on. I've got to find the chat again now. I need to get more of those. Talking about the Mong World War II skits. I just have the M4A1 Sherman. I recommend the Matilda in. Let me get it. I'll show you. It's one of the few ones I've got available to hand. Even though it's right at the back of the display cabinet. There will be dust. Oh, not that much dust. Yeah, that's the Matilda. Obviously a bit Warhammered up with a... Yeah, I kind of Warhammered it a bit. But that's the Matilda. It's just a beautiful... I love the tank. It's so 40k just by itself. And bizarrely, the Mong tanks, they're just about the right silly cartoony size that if you stick a Warhammer 40k figure in with this heroic scale cartoony size, it just kind of works. Yeah. Get yourself a Matilda, it's great. Ooh, they just fit with the silliness of Warhammer, basically. They're perfect. Don't forget to do planes and ships as well, though. That map looks like a Jackson Pollock now. I like it. Which map? Oh, this one. Oh, yes, I see what you mean. Not me this time, Phil Lewis. Fox, says Phil Lewis. I've lost track of the chat now. Oh, not me this time, Fox, about the packages. Okay, right, cool. Early Christmas gifts as Muse. Oh, it's your Spatula of the Month Club subscription. I've got to tell you, when Paul bought me those spatulas as a joke, he got me them little silicon wibbly wobbly spatulas as a joke. I did them on a mailbag video once. I've got to tell you, I use them every day now when I'm cooking because they are fantastic. They're actually brilliant for getting stuff out of a pan instead of having to struggle with any kind of metal tool. You just get it in the pan and go scoop, and it just gets all the food out of a pan. Great, I love them. I wouldn't be without them now. I wouldn't be anywhere without them. Right, these are quite simple. These just fit in there like their trousseau. No major issues on those. So what I'll do is I'll do a touch of the old Tamiya fat cement. I can't really use the fast setting cement because by the time I put it in there and got the exhaust pipe up, it would have gone away. It will have evaporated away. I could use the extra thin cement, but I can't get the brush in there once the exhaust in. So I'm just going to use the fat cement because it'll sit there for 10 minutes while I fart about and get the piece ready. So tiny touch in there. And action to squish. And it's in. I don't often use the fat cement, but there are times when it's beneficial. I mean, the extra thin would work perfectly, but it does flash off fast, and you haven't really got a lot of time to fart around, so sometimes when you can't, I could get the brush in there, but I just easy. Hang on. Coffee, words. It's just as easy to do the fat cement. There was me saying, blimey Riley, let me know if I talk too fast and start talking rubbish. And I'm already doing it. I've not gone loud, I don't think. I'm just talking rubbish. Right, I'm knocking the microphone, hooray, and knocking the glue over, hooray. That's the exhaust pipes in. All done. Lots of very holy looking. Holy. Oh, it's where it's a life-size model of Jar Jar made of cake. I'd eat that, because it's cake. Graham M is in, says, hi all, Belly homemade burger, bench printing the... Hi all, says Graham M. Belly, homemade burger, jolly good. Bench priming the S100 patrol boat, cool. An empty bench and falafel, and Arabian street food in my belly. I've never had falafel. I do fancy falafel. Never tried it though. Is it lamb? Or is it a sweet food, a sweet desserty type? I can't remember. Would love to have a perfect grade Falcon or a Baneblade to my collection, says Paul Di Tommaso. Yeah, well the Baneblade's obviously a lot. You could buy 3 Baneblades for the same price as a Falcon. You might get a bit more mileage out of a Baneblade. Chat jumped. It's a box full of naughty movies, Foxy, says Scale Model Muse. Bonus. I'll add it to my extensive collection. I couldn't resist the Jar 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 set with free spatula. Just use a small glass to measure your rice, Fox. A cup is about 225 millilitres, says Mordracker. Like a shot glass, not a shot glass. Like a whiskey glass kind of size. Because that's half a coffee cup, so, yeah. Not a fan of healthier versions of food, but brown rice is tastier than white rice. I've never had brown rice, and it's fine. Just cook it for 20 minutes and 10 minutes in the hot water. It's fine, quite tasty. I'm not on a silly health food diet. I'm just on I've got to be on low fat stuff and get my cholesterol down. So I can't be eating like full fat meats anymore. I've got to go for lean meats and things like that. So it's not the end of the world. I'm not like I'll eat any food. I need a Sharpie pen. I can still eat delicious things. I'm still eating, occasionally I might get my Chinese takeaway, but just not as often as I used to. Right, so we made this cannon last week. We did that bit because we stuck that on. That's glued in place, by the way. I couldn't be bothered with it faffing around. We've glued the top piece on, so that's done. Next, we have to make the little Sponson weapons, I suppose. Let's have a look. Read through the Repulsor datasheet and decide which weapons you wish to use before gluing anything together. This datasheet can be found in issue 78 in Space Marines datasheet 16. If you're not familiar with this, this is a part where you build both a Space Marine army and a Death Guard army, and you get all the data sheets and stuff and everything you need to play the game as well. So that's why it's referring to data sheets. I don't really care. I'm going to go for the weapons that look the coolest, because I know George will love it anyway, and George probably won't end up playing this on a tabletop. He might do. But I will go for... I like to go for bolters, because bolters are kick-ass. Your choice is bolter or grenade launcher, and I know grenade launchers are a bit pants. So we'll go for bolters, because bolters can cut down the enemy in a hail of explosive bolts. Falafel is made from chickpeas. Ooh. Falafel is made of yum. Food is food. I'll eat anything. When we got a load of tin stuff at the start of the lockdown earlier this year, just to make sure we had a big supply of... We didn't know how long it was going to go on for. A big supply of like tinned foods. For some reason, we also included like 6 cans of lentils in that, and I don't know why, but we still got 6 cans of lentils. No, I used 1 can of lentils in something because I was starving, hungry, and I couldn't be bothered. And I had a can of Irish stew and a can of lentils and mixed them together, and it was food. But we still got like 5 cans of lentils and no idea what to do with them. So I don't know. Right, so we need to make these little side weapons. So we need. We're going to make with the bolter, I think. So George, you're getting bolters. You're getting some storm bolters. We will need for this part. We will need 84, 87, 86, and 85, or 4, 5, 6, and 7, as we like to say. And you get 3 of them for some reason. There must be 3 others on the back as well. One on the back. So times 2. So 84, 84 first of all. I'll do 2 of 84s. The lens is down so I can see what I'm doing. 84. Now, apologies, you're going to see the back of my hand. I have done some work on the workbench here. I've invested in some new lights, as you know, I've said before. And some extra string and cabling, I mean, like, you know, USB cables and power cables, so that I can have camera on the left-hand side of the bench sometimes. You know, what I film on my old iPhone 5 or 6, whatever it is. So I can now have that on the other side. And I've just dropped that piece. Let me go and find it. Hang on. Ugh. Today with the dropping of the things, the running and the screaming, the hey. Right, that's done. There it is. It went into the microfiber noodle rug and didn't go anywhere. Get yourself a noodle microfiber rug. It's our official Coca-Cola tin of bits. 2 of those. We need 2 87s. Yes, I've got a couple of extra lights and I've got some extra wiring and cables, which means I can have the camera on that side now when I'm filming things. I'm going to try that out because the camera on the right hand side, like where this one is now, is no use at all when I'm figure painting. Because all you see is the back of my hand. I've invested in some wiring and cables thanks to my patrons and channel members. However, that doesn't extend to the webcam, unfortunately, because I didn't get an extra cable for the webcam to be even longer. Basically, I've got about 16 feet of what have I got? I've got a male to female USB cable going from the PC, and that's 10 foot long. And then from there, I've got a 10 foot, 12 foot USB to lightning cable to go into the iPhone, so I can have it over on the other side of the desk. So when I'm painting like this, you're not seeing the back of my hand, you're seeing this view, so it might be a bit better. But for the webcam, I haven't got, and I didn't get another thing to USB extender cable. I could have done, I think, but I'm also running out of USB slots, and yeah, I should have done really. But it's not so bad because it's just for live streams, and it's not like I'm mostly building on live streams anyway, so it's not the end of the world. 85, I want 2 of those. But yes, oh, these are all in the right place. 85, 84s, 87s. My, what have they done? And there's all the weapons. Wow, they've actually got them in the right place. I'm impressed, Games Workshop. You've done a thing. Welcome to what everybody else has been doing for years. So we need 2 85s. Yeah, a lot of what I do is just building on the live stream, so it's not really the end of the world if you've seen that side of my hand. Oh, that's tight. When I'm doing proper videos, you know, how to paint, stuff like that, then I need to make sure the camera's on the other side. 2 85s, and I want 2 86s because we're having storm bolted. Storm bolted. Just adjust my flippity flappities again. Hang on. Coming off. They don't seem to want to grip to these glasses very well. They grip better to my other ones, but they're my reading glasses, my normal everyday looking glasses. Storm bolters. Now, thankfully, these little storm bolters are actually already pre-drilled, which is very nice. We like that. Oh, ping. Yes, I spent a little bit on the workbench lately with the extra cables and strings and the 2 lamps, the 2 lights. The lights I got are what are they called? They're Viltrox L116Ts. Viltrox L116Ts. They're only like 35-40 quid. They're dirt cheap, but they're fantastic LED lights for your workbench. They're adjustable in colour and temperature, and they are available in my Amazon stores. Links to my Amazon stores are in the description below the video. I am bound to explain that I do make I do receive payment. Well, am I supposed to say it now? I do receive an income based on certain products from the Amazon store. It doesn't cost you anything extra. You're not paying for that, but I do earn an income from those products. They're in my Amazon store. The UK store has the same Viltrox lights in. The US and Canada stores, I wasn't able to necessarily find exactly the same lamps, so I've got something similar in those. I think. I can't quite remember. But go and have a look. If you're looking for some cheap desk light options, you can do much. You can't really get any better than the Viltrox ones because they're dirt cheap and they're really good. Okay, so we've got those 4 bits for that one. Let's do one first. How was the redo Chinese takeaway last night, says Lynn Dipple. It was delicious. On Friday, we had Chinese, and I ordered my usual. And my pad thai, my beef pad thai, it was a tragedy because when they made it, they burnt the eggs. And because the eggs were, if you've ever tasted burned egg, like scrambled egg, burnt eggs, it's a horrible taste. And unfortunately, it affected the flavour of the whole dish. And the whole dish was completely inedible. It was just absolutely inedible. So yesterday, I says to Mama Fox, right, what do you want for dinner? Because I'm going to order my Chinese again. The problem was I was looking forward to it all day. And when it turned up, of course, I couldn't eat it. So I put it in the kitchen and left it there overnight. Just left it in the kitchen on the side to wash the dishes and stuff the next day. But although it tasted horrible, it smelled delicious and the kitchen smelled fantastic the next day. And all I was doing was thinking about pad thai. How I'd had like 5 mouthfuls and had to give it up. And I'm like, oh, I can't do this. So I said to Mama Fox, I says, right, I'm going to order it again because I'm sure it's just a one-off. They hadn't realised they burnt the eggs. It was a one-off. I need it again. So we ordered it last night and it turned up and it was cooked to perfection. And I ate it in my entire face in minutes. Because their pad thai is really nice. Yeah. So I wasn't that upset about it because it's just one of those things, you know, they're making this meal. They probably haven't spotted that they burnt the egg a little bit, just a little bit. But because the taste of burnt scrambled egg is just so overpowering, it ruined the whole thing. And I couldn't eat it. But we use them all the time, and they're 99. That's the first time we've ever had an issue with their food, to be perfectly honest. So I wasn't really going to shout at them too much. It wasn't the end of the world. Okay, that's that done. Moar is great. The day's now catching up with me, so I'll call it a night and catch the remainder of the stream later. Thanks for coming in, Moar. Take care. Sleep well. Lentils, let's make soup. Coca-Cola, says Darren. Yes, that was sent to me. Very, very dark bitter. Apparently on a low-fat diet, you can have dark chocolate. Dark chocolate's not so bad for your cholesterol and for sugar and salt. It's actually quite good for if you're on a low-fat diet. So I've got some Benecol cereal bars. And I've got 2 of them. One is like a blueberry and raspberry or something. And it's got like a white yoghurt coating on the box. It's like a chocolate bar with nuts on the top, but it's white yogurt. It's not chocolate. And these bars are supposed to they contain all the plant stanols or stanols, whatever, and they help reduce your cholesterol. So it's like a happy, healthy, heart-healthy snack food. But they do one with chocolate on it as well. I'm like, that can't be good for you, but it's dark chocolate. Apparently, it's good for your cholesterol level and low fat and stuff. I'm like, okay, I'll do that then. Means I can have some kind of chocolate. And actually, because I'm not a big fan of like cereal bars and stuff. I'm like, yeah, don't eat that crap. But these are so nice. I'll just have one as my sort of lunch / breakfast. And around about midday, I'll wolf one down. And they're really nice. They last about 10 seconds, but But they're apparently specifically designed to help reduce cholesterol. They contain things that get rid of bad cholesterol. And that's what I've got to deal with, so that's what I shall eat. I've got my little bags of mixed nuts, and I've got me Benecol bars. And it's not. I'm not that fussed. People say, "Oh, how can you survive now? You can't have kebabs and stuff." And it's like, you know what? I can still have a lot of things, and I can have the occasional takeaway. Just I can't live off takeaways and things on high-fat food all the time, like I've spent so many years doing. I've got itchy nose. Hang on. Woo. So this is the box upon which Stormbolter goes. I don't know how much of this is visible. Let's have a look before we glue all this together, before we start sanding all these bits down. Because it might be that half of this just is invisible, and therefore I don't need to worry about it. So this goes like that. That goes like that. And there. The bolter piece sits on the front, so I don't need to worry about getting rid of those other than getting them flat. That sits on there. And then that goes on top. Okay, so those two nubs, I don't need to worry about too much because you're not going to see them. And that nub there, you're not going to see that because that will sit, I assume, in those little, oops, these little nubulations. That's going to sit in there. So again, I don't actually need to worry about that really. I'll clean them up and get them flat, but I don't need to bust my gut trying to get them nice and smooth and flat. So we can just file those. Much better. Just file them flat so they're not sticking out. These ones I need to get flat just so they don't affect the piece that goes on top. That's a gluing surface, so I don't need to worry about it. Excellent. I do like it when manufacturers put all their attachment point in places you're never going to see. Life's so much easier. What's chat doing? Hope you got a refund for that mess, Foxy. It says I didn't ask them. We've used them for a long time and they're so lovely. They're so lovely in there, and the Saturday night they're absolutely hammered because they're one of the few places that stayed open during the lockdown. Because they're somehow able to, I don't quite know how. And they're only a few roads away, and they're so lovely. And it literally was. I thought, yeah, he's just burnt the eggs. He's probably, it's like Saturday night. It's bombed out busy. They probably haven't even noticed he's burnt the eggs. Any other dish, of course, and you wouldn't notice it, but because of these, it's like, you know what? It's fine. I'm not that fussed. So when I ordered the dish, I just said, hey, please don't burn the eggs tonight because you burnt the eggs last night and it made it taste really horrible and I couldn't eat it. And I thought maybe, maybe that might get me a bit of a refund or something. Or freebie in the bag. They didn't do anything, but you have to remember, of course, we are British. I'm British. And we don't really do complaining or asking for refunds very well. It's not something we naturally do. You could drive. I could park my car and you could drive a truck into it, and I'd probably apologise to the truck driver. It's just how we are. There's no way around it. That's exactly what British people. That's how we British people do. It makes no sense at all. Not all of us, of course, but the civilised, intelligent ones of us. That's how we do. There are those that would do lots of loud complaining and kvetching and bitching, but of course they're the uncultured, loudmouth types. We don't talk about those. The intelligent ones amongst us, we don't. That goes on there. This needs a clean up on there because I didn't see those bits. Somehow I cleaned off these nubs and didn't even spot the two big nubs on the side there. Well. I'll have a look at the chat in a minute. Don't forget, folks, if you want to get my attention in the chat, because I have got my flippity flappity telescope glasses on, I can't really focus on the chat when I'm focused on this. It's all a big blur. So do put your comment in capital letters, or if you want to, you can do the super chat, which is the dollar symbol at the bottom of the chat window. That puts it in a coloured box and makes a noise. That way I know there's a comment there for me. You don't have to. But if you've asked me a question or something and I haven't responded to you, please don't be offended. Don't be angry. Don't, as Gob would say, don't hit me. It's a Fallout joke there for you. Don't hit me. That just sits in there like that. Okay. I think we'll have the bolters up a little bit because they do look a bit more interesting when they're up like that. But we'll have them, I think perhaps. Pointing forward a little bit, I think. We'll have that on that side. So we'll just glue that in now. I'm going to do this. Let's lock that in there, and we'll lock that in there. A bit of glue on that, a bit of glue on that. I shouldn't really do gluing above the model. Usually asking for trouble when you do that. That can sit on there and get touched by the glue. There you go. I'll seep into the gap and glue him into the place of never coming out again. But it's more fun if the gun's pointing up, I suppose. It makes it a bit more interesting visually. Lovely. You don't need to do a lot of glue on these things. I may hate the building, but I kind of know how to do the building. There we go. That's that one glued on. Quick look at chat. The old line, diet means I can eat more. Good tea if it was good. Yeah, Kildar says the old line, diet means I can eat more. Yes. When you pay for something, it should be right. End of, says Muse. I know. But again, British. It's different, slightly different. If it was a takeaway I'd never been to, and I walked in and ordered it and it came out, I'd be like, I'd go back and complain. But because it's one that I've used for a long time, and we kind of get on with them, and they are really lovely, it makes it more difficult. It's like shouting at a family member. It's just really, yeah. You'd happily shout at a passerby on the street, but shouting at your mum, or you know, your kid, or whatever. It's weird. It's hard to explain. It's just. The rubber treads on the Sherman are being glued right now. I may or may not add on some Gorilla Glue for extra security. Right now, it's just PVA glued. If you're on the Sherman, is that one of the Mong chibi Shermans, or is it a proper Sherman kit? If it's like a Tamiya Rubber Tracks job, you don't need to glue them to the model. They just fit over the wheels. But if you're trying to get them to sag like proper track sag, yes, I don't know how people do that. I remember reading once how people got the one-piece rubber tracks to sag around the wheels, and it involved thread or something, but I can't remember how it was done. I think you actually have thread between the track and the wheel, and it pulls the track down, but then you hide it. I don't know. I can't remember how it was done now. Splats. That'll make you slightly broke if you do it all the time, says Muse. Again, it's impossible to explain what it's like to be British. Like I said, you could take a sledgehammer to my car and I would probably apologise to you. It's not quite Canadian. It's not that we like to apologise, it's that we're very uncomfortable complaining, I think is the difference. Whereas in Canada, everybody's lovely and everybody apologises for everything because everything's their own fault. But in Britain, or at least in England, for the intelligent people, it's not that we think it's our fault, it's that we hate to complain. Complaining is not something a lot of us Brits do. It's hard to explain. If you're not British, you just don't get it. It's just really weird. It's the same way that, I cringe when I have to ask people to support me on Patreon or YouTube. Patreon.com/modelmakinguru. The address is down there. Go and help there. You can help keep this channel going. Or just click the YouTube button, the join button on any of my YouTube videos. I hate doing that. Saying to go to, Patreon.com/modelmakinguru. I hate saying that. It's the same kind of thing. We don't like to ask for help, and we don't like to not that we don't like to apologise. We don't like to ask for help, and we don't like to be confrontational. Not everybody, of course. I'm generalising massively, but it's the principle of the thing. It's the principle of the damn thing. Hard to explain. We would rather take a hit for a little bit of money than actually do the confrontation thing. It's hard to explain. Festus 67's workshop is in. Welcome, Colin. He says, oh my god, Captain Stabberty had a knife. It has been known to happen. But it's a special safety knife with the... And my latest wound wasn't even a knife. There's a cut on there. It was from that. This thing I went clip by, and yeah. Chris at Gross Model says, like and subscribe, my first tank build. Thank you very much. Like and subscribe. It's the Tamiya shim, and while they do fit-ish, I want to make sure that they just stay in one loop. Use a staple. The two ways to do Tamiya tracks are, because you've got if you're rubber tracks, you've got track comes together and you've got two little nubs and two little holes, and it's that squishy rubber. The traditional way, the proper way, is to get the nubs into the holes and get a hot screwdriver, heat it in a flame, and just press it to the nub, and you mushroom, because the nub sticks through like that, and then you mushroom down the head of the nub with a hot screwdriver, and it flattens the top of the nub down, covering the hole up, and therefore it's locked in place. I used to do it as a kid when in the 80s. You mushroom them flat, or Ted just does it. All you do is get a stapler, staple the two ends of the track together, click, click, and then that bit of the track you make sure is under somewhere. Like if it's got a side skirt, put it under the side skirt, or if it hasn't got one, make sure that bit of the track is at the bottom, because nobody will see that. And then you can hide the staple under a wheel, so you can just staple it. If you try and glue it, it won't hold. If you try and glue them together, there's no glue that will hold that because it's too squishy and flexible. PVA won't really hold it. But it's weird because I never thought of stapling them. I always used to use the hot screwdriver mushroom method until Ted was like, you could just staple them together. And I'm like, oh yeah, that's so damn obvious. And more often than not, it is the real obvious solution that's the one you never think of. Yes. Like the old joke about the Americans inventing the space pen, the Russians just took a pencil. Not actually true, it's kind of an urban myth, but it makes the point nicely. Yeah, just staple them. Have a look at chat in a second. I've got my lenses on, so I can't see the chat. I can do one thing or I can do the other, but I can't do both at the same time, sadly. You made me talk about takeaway food. Now I really want more pad thai, but I can't have pad thai again. I'll never answer the bench and belly. Bench, you can see what I'm working. Belly tonight, though. You can see what I'm working on for the... Oh, wait. That was a train wreck of a sentence. Start again. Coffee. Bench, you can see what I'm working on. Apologies, I went all rubbish talking there. Belly tonight, I have got defrosting in the kitchen. A pack of sausages. But they're chicken sausages. They're heck chicken sausages. I think it's chicken and something, like some herbs or something. We've had them before, they're quite pleasant. Heck is the name of the brand. So we'll be having those with something. I think Mama Fox wants rice. But I think she wants, because we did order a whole mess of the Uncle Ben's sort of packs of 2-minute rice. Again, when it was the start of lockdown, we didn't know how long it was going to go on for. We didn't know how often we'd be able to get an order, because this was when you try and order food through Amazon Now or Prime, or you try and get it through Tesco's or Asda Online, anything like that, and you couldn't get orders because everybody was panicking. So we had to assume that, if we place an online order for food and supplies, it might be the last one we get for months. We didn't know. So we had to over order and over order lots of things that might be, that will survive a long time. So we got lots and lots of packs of Uncle Ben's rice and lots of tins of things. And we've still got like 1 million packs of gnocchi that we've never had, but that was the one pasta they had on the Tesco store shelf before lockdown was gnocchi, so I bought a whole shed load of that. We've still got loads of it. So yeah, I think she wants Uncle Ben's rice tonight, so I'll bite the bullet and have the evil white rice. I'll take that hit from Mama Fox. She's worth it. God, you're worth it. Weebadoodles is in. The heck ones are nice, says Weebadoodles. Yeah, we've had the chicken ones before. Not had the other ones. Welcome, by the way. Watching on my phone, says Weebadoodles. Welcome. I'll do it closer so you can see things. Look. Ooh. Ooh, hello, burpage. I've got very burpy lately. For a long time, I'd try and stifle them, but you know what? I can't be bothered doing that anymore. I used to try and be polite and not burp on camera because it's a bit rude. But you know what? Yeah, I can't be being so polite right now. Seems like a silly thing to try and hide. We all burp. It's funny. There you go. For some reason, I'm really burpy at the moment. Doodle-doo-doodle-doo-doo-doo-doo. Sandulations. Yes, I think Moar Fox wants rice. And what that means typically is you make the sausages, you make the rice, then you chop the sausages up into little bits and you mix that in with the rice. Rather than having like a plate of rice, and no, you make a big munge. You munge it all together to make a big pan of stuff. And then she has like 3 mouthfuls and I have the rest. Woohoo! That has been sandulated. Excellent. Excellent. Bit of a sandy. Light sand to get off the edge, because again, you're not going to see this too much. Well, actually this bit you will. There we go. Lovely. Osric 9000 is in, or Ostrich 90,000 as we like to call him. Coffee does that, Foxy, says Muse. 9 out of 10 Burpage, yes. 7 out of 10 Burpage, says Weebadoodles. Lynn says 9 out of 10. Phil Lewis says, Fox, was your takeaway better last night? Yes, we just answered that. I guess you weren't here. Yes, it was better. It was much improved. I knew it was a one-off. They just burnt the egg, and that made everything taste horrible, because burnt egg is the worst taste in the world. Well, actually, there are worse tastes in the world, but burnt egg is one of the worst. I'm doing that. I usually just dump in some soy sauce and tomato sauce. It will include, I will of course include all the sauces. It is the law in this house that every meal includes dark soy sauce, not light soy sauce. Because light soy sauce is rubbish for milk drinkers. Dark soy sauce, ideally Amoy dark soy sauce. It would normally include a big chunk of sweet chili sauce, but we haven't got any left. I have got some actual chili sauce, which is really, very pleasant. Mama Fox is not such a big fan of the hot foods. But it would normally include dark soy sauce, sweet chili. It will include a generous amount of squirty mayonnaise, because that, not for the flavour, but that just gives the rice some stickitude. It makes it kind of gloopy and more interesting. I'll probably put a spoonful of mustard in there. Make things interesting. What else have we got? I'll put in some herbs and spices, just to make things interesting. The only one we've got is golden vegetable, unfortunately, that's the only rice we've got left, which is not the best, Uncle Ben's. I like the spicy Mexican rice, that's quite pleasant. Oh, we have a super chat. The Raging Modeler, £2 super chat, says, but you put a T on the end. Not sure about the T. But thank you very much for that, Raging Model. That's very, very kind. If you're wondering what's... There you go. There you go. You get the knowing and appreciative nod. If you're wondering what a super chat was, that's a super chat. That's why I can always... If you absolutely have to get my attention, the best way to do it... Capitals is good, because I'll see it whiz past, but a super chat is always the best way to absolutely get my attention. Guaranteed every time. Because even if I don't see it there, I'll hear that. That's those two done. Ooh, zip. Burnt popcorn is way up there too. Never had that. Sorry, I was indeed away for a short while, says for Lewis. No problem. Dark soy is great for that savoury flavour. It's basically a bottle of dark soy sauce is basically a bottle of umami, which is the best thing in the world. Light soy sauce is just nonsense and for southerners. But dark soy sauce is proper liquids. Mayhem says boo. Phil Lewis says boo. Natalia, Olga, crescendo. What about beef burnt ends? They are lush. Yeah, I've never had a beef burnt end. Sounds a bit painful. Burnt meat's usually alright. It just tastes burnt. It's a bit crispy, but burnt egg, it's not. It's like, it's just, I can't explain it. Go and make some scrambled eggs, but burn them to the point where you've got black burning on them. Okay? Make some scrambled eggs. I don't know how you burn them to the blackness, so the little bit black crispy bits on them. And then try eating them. I mean, seriously, quite a bit of black stuff on them, not like a little tiny touch. You really want to have a lot of crispy black bits, and then just try eating them. We have a bottle of oyster sauce, which is delicious. We haven't got any of that. We had some. It is very nice. We do have a bottle of Vietnamese fish sauce, which literally you have to have one tiny drop in a big pan of food, otherwise it kills it. But if you do one tiny dot, it's fantastic. Raging Modeler. Hey dudes, we doing okay? Just got home from work. I'm shattered and have the DND tonight. I'm fine, thank you. I hope you enjoy your dund. Gross Model says Brrr. Raging Modeler. Belly, currently eating salt and vinegar crisps. Bench Young and Red Dragon, who has been nearly finished 3 times before I keep doing bits. Yes. Team Inept says, you literally have zero ability to criticise any food when you've never heard of Wagamama. Why would I have heard of a restaurant I've never been to? Or takeaway, whatever it is. Why would I have necessarily heard of it? There's probably lots of restaurants I know that you haven't heard of. You know what I mean? If I've never been there, and I've never searched it out, and I've never seen it mentioned anywhere, how would I know it even exists? But anyway, I did know of it. I knew the name Wagamama. I just didn't know what food they did. To be clear on this is a conversation we had on a Facebook chat. I did know what Wagamama was. I just never been there, never seen one, and never had no concept of their particular menu. So just to correct that, it's not like I'd never heard of them. And besides, there aren't any around here anyway, so even more. How have you never heard of this restaurant that you haven't got anywhere near you locally? Have you never been there? Because I haven't got any near me locally anywhere. Right, now we've got a choice here. We can have another Storm Bolter on the butt end. We can have another Storm Bolter. We can have another Frag Storm Grenade Launcher. Or we can have a Heavy Stubber. An Icarus Iron Hail Heavy Stubber. Or an Icarus Rocket Pod. You can have one of the three. Now, rockets are good. Grenades are rubbish. Big fat stubber with a yeah. It's going to be the Icarus. It's going to be the Icarus Iron Hail Heavy Stubber. George, this is being tailored for you going against lots of troops. You'll be going against mobs of blob troops because you've got Storm Bolters, and a big stubber on the back. Yeah, just so you know, that's what we're having here. So for this, I need 90, 91, 92, and 89. I'm going to guess these parts are all in the same place again. Yes, we've been to Wagamama's twice. It's in the Trafford Centre. I would rather eat my own face than go in the Trafford Centre. I refuse to enter the Trafford Centre for any reason. 89. There we go. That's that one. Yeah, so I didn't know what I've heard of it. I've just never been there because at the end of the day, I'm a socially awkward penguin and I hate being in rooms with people. So if I can avoid eating out, I will. I need 89. Where the hell is 89? 9. Am I going to be misinterpreting their thing? That 18. There's 8. That's 48. What? 9. 5. Well, I need 90, 91, and 92. There's 90. Yeah, no, I hate being in social situations, so I'm not going to go to a place to eat if I can avoid it. If I'm with my mates, I might do, but then none of my mates have been to Wagamama with me, so 80, 90, 91, and 92. 91. And also 92, ja, das ist. Okay, I was dead happy that all the things are in the right place, but they're taking it away from me again now. 91 and 92. 91, there's 95, 100, 90, 91 is not there. Deepest of the saying now. They were so close, and then they weren't so close. Let's try the other spring. Other spring time. Put it on there. Let's put it over there because we don't need that just yet. Yeah, so close. On that spring. There's nothing on that one. Alright, so it must be on this spring. We're here again, aren't we? Right, so we've had part number 90. We want 91 and 92. Let's use our eyes of looking. And numbers of... There we go, 91 and 90. There we go. There they are. got there in the end. I don't know. Yes, with such a loathing of being in social situations, I've no desire at all to ever go in this. I've been in there a few times, but yeah, too many chuds in the Trafford Centre for me to even think about going in there. It's kind of mouth breather central for a lot of the people in there. Not everybody, obviously. You find folks are an exception, but you get a lot of mouth breathers in there. Bit chud central. I need 89, which is the stubber itself. Show me your stubber. 89 is Anne Stubber. Stubber, where are you? It's here somewhere. I could just look at the numbers, that would be helpful. 108. Got it. 79, 83, 99, 85, 86. 87, 88. How can I not see an entire ass? There's a gun there, but that's not... I'm confused now. There's part number 48, which looks exactly like the stubber. But it's not part, it says it's part 89 in the instructions. That makes no sense at all. Anyone who's built this, have they misnumbered a piece? This piece here, that's basically the heavy stubber that looks exactly right. But it's not part 89. It's part 48. 81. 85, 84. I see no other... Oh, there you go, it's up there. Oh, God. I don't know. The pieces on screwing the wrong way, I don't know. There we go. Those two. We have 89, 90, 91, 92, and then this flat piece, which seems to have just not bothered numbering it. Really? Okay. Apparently, they feel compelled to not bother telling you that is part 80, apparently. Yeah, well, yeah. I'm still zoomed in, aren't I? Oh, my lenses fell off. Anyway, you still haven't told me what kind of food Wagamama do anyway. So I still don't actually know what kind of food they do. You do, don't you, Doe? I'd heard the name. It sounded a bit poncy to me, to be honest. I only go to the Trafford Centre for cinema or Waterstones. Yeah, I'd rather shop online, to be perfectly honest. That's just me, though. I hate going into... I mean, I'll go into, like, Warhammer Store and things like that, but if I can do something online rather than actually in a place with people, I'd much rather do it online. I think I'm allergic to my own species. I think that's what the problem is here. It's just those pieces and that bit there that's not numbered. I will assume it's part 80. It might not be, but there's no other indication. Because they forgot to number it. Ping. There's only one in Boston. There's an opportunity for unexplored food. Philicinian food. What's Philicinian food? Mayhem's currently on my way home from work. I hate Sundays and I miss all the fun. It's a Japanese place, says Weebadoodles. Well, Japanese gets my vote. I will make an exception for Japanese restaurants. There used to be one near me many years ago where the guy would stand in front of you. Japanese food I make an exception for. You'd basically sit around the hot plate and he would prepare the food in front of you. And he would juggle rice. I've never seen a man juggle rice before, but he had the ability to juggle rice. Yes. Nub time. Ooh, look, a nub right over a grill. Thanks, Games Workshop. That's really thoughtful. Ugh. One nub on it. 2 nubs. 3 nubs. There we go. Nub number 2. Nub number 3. A little bit of file it. I can't unfortunately see that and do the reading at the same time. Stomach says feed me and I don't know what to have, says Paul. Meat. Always meat, the answer. We're having lamb shanks in mint gravy tonight, says Weeby Doodles. Oh, I've not had lamb shanks for a long time. That's proper hearty, wholesome winter food, that is. My mate's mum, she used to, many years ago, she used to get lamb shanks and put them in a pan with like vegetables and stuff. I don't know how she used to cook it, but she used to just cook it into this. She actually used to call it slop. All the lamb would just fall off the bone. It's all in one big pan. You'd cook it forever, for weeks. All the lamb would fall off the bone. You'd pull the bones out, and you just have this melange of goodness. And I used to love it when I go around. She'd made slop, and I'm like, oh, can I have an enormous bowl of that, please? The 1970s when they made food go a lot further. But slop, she used to call it. Fox, use all the big guns. I will use all the big guns. Well, I'm using all the shooty guns. I'm tailoring this one for George, so it's more anti-infantry than anti-vehicle, I think. I like bolters. I don't know why. I just like bolters. Bolters and stubbers. Stubber! Stubulations. Stubber's basically a big 50 cal Browning, effectively. Maybe slightly higher caliber. Oops. Let's go off with a knife. I always hate carving nubs off tubes like this, where it's perpendicular to the horizontal, because it's always a nightmare trying not to get a straight edge. Sometimes it's better to file than to fade away. No, wrong film. God, that was a terrible film. Doodle 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 doodle. This is 800 grit. I can't look at chat at the same time. Apologies. Let me do this and then I'll have a look at the chat and see what you're saying. Looking pretty darn spankulacious. Stubber time. Do 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 do. Can't stub this. Boo do do boo do. Stubtacular. I love the way they just call big ass machine guns stubbers. A great name in it, stubber and a bolt. And I know why bolters are called bolters, because they shoot explosive bolts. They're not like machine guns. The bolts in a bolter are basically small missiles, small bombs. They're not actual bullets. But why they call us? I love the idea that they just call us the machine guns stubbers. I think machine guns are just like bog standard kinetic weapons. They just fire bullets. Probably very, very large caliber because it's Warhammer. Probably look like your 50 cal anti-material weapon. Look like just a pea shooter. Where's me special tool? Where's me special tool? There's me special tool. Panicking that I couldn't find my special tool. There's a very small barrel on this, and I'm going to have to drill it out, and it's tiny. This can go one of two ways, badly or very badly. On camera? Yes. Mould line down the middle. Thanks, Obama. Stubber. Imagine that. How did he die? He was stubbed. He was stubbed to death. Of all the inglorious ways to go, I was stubbed. Maybe they're called stubbers because in the world of 40k, a bog standard machine gun that fires pathetic little bullets probably does very little damage to most things. Therefore, what we would consider like a weapon capable of taking out an entire tank with one bullet, to 40k people is probably, in the universe of what it's probably like, it's a pea shooter. When you've got hand weapons that fire small bombs, as in, you know, bolters, you've got man portable missile weapons that fire in, you know, massive bombs, bolters, then something that fires just a bullet is probably feeble. So I'm probably giving him the worst possible rear cover weapon here. But that's the funny thing about 40k is the weaponry. Everybody takes the mickey out of the las guns that the Imperial Guard carry because they're just feeble. It's just, they're called flashlights. That's why they call them flashlights, because they're almost useless against pretty much anything apart from an unarmoured enemy, like bare flesh enemy. If all your enemies are running around butt naked, you're probably fine. But if you read into the lore, if you could suddenly magic up an actual proper 40k las gun in real life, it will be in reality more powerful than any laser weapon we've ever had in this world right now. It would, you know, it would melt through a real world tank, or it would vaporize a person in normal combat armor in real life now. But it's only because in the 40k world, what to us would be a ridiculously overpowered laser weapon that would destroy anything, to them won't even get through ceramite armor. You know, it doesn't even damage it, because you've got to it's like their weapons are leveled up massively, but so is all their armor and material. So it's quite funny. So remember, I read in one point where they were kind of trying to figure out exactly what kind of power the las guns actually had, and they realised they were like gigawatts or terawatt lasers. There was something crazy, like more powerful than anything we've ever made in real world. They're saying, yeah, in the real world, you could take out an entire armor with a las gun. In 40k world, you're just going to die. So I like that. Where Fox use all the big guns, the weapon option for a loud burper. A burp gun. Isn't a burp gun a real thing in real world, in World War II? Got a few of those places here too. I live like 5 minutes away from the Trafford Centre. It turns to hell at Christmas, says Weeber Doodles. It's hell every day. I did drive there once, and of course I got lost on the way there, and I got lost on the way. This is the day before, like, sat nav. I got lost on the way, but somehow I ended up in Urmston somewhere, not where I wanted to be. I used to go there. You know, when we were young, we used to go to the Trafford Centre and go to some of the stores. I have fond memories of going to the Warner Brothers store, because I was big into Batman at the time, and they had like a replica of the 1989 Tim Burton Batmobile and Bat suit. But that's years ago. But, you know, as I grew up and became older and hated people more and more, I decided I'm not going there ever again. Phil Lewis says, got to go. Bye all. Thanks for coming in, Phil. Take care, buddy. Anyone who says a las gun is weak has never run through a field of 1,000 of them fire. Yes. Hey, George. George Gabriel's in. Now, George does get minus 10 points for putting a Z in las gun, because we know laser has an S, not a Z. I'm pointing the finger of the E-model's finger of shame at you, George, for using a Z in las gun. Every time somebody spells laser with a Z, a kitten falls from 50,000 feet and impacts on the ground, crushing a puppy to death in the process. And it loses its wing. I'm American, says George Gabriel. Yeah, but laser's an acronym, so it's S, even if you're American. There's no get out. You get the finger of shame. But welcome, George. Nice to see you, mate. Look upon your slightly battle damaged repulsor. Yes, slightly battle damaged. It'll look great when it's painted. I'm giving you all the bolter options basically. You've got heavy storm bolters. Oh, I've got to get the seam lines on there. Heavy storm bolters on the sides. You're getting a heavy stubber on the back. And that's all your anti-infantry weapons. I'm designing this for you, anti-infantry. I'm not giving you the grenade launchers because they're apparently a bit rubbish, and I'm not giving you the missile launcher because you want big bullets and you cannot lie. I've decided for you. I'm American, can't help it, says George. No. Oh, I'm in Hampstead. I used to love all the little science and fun stores before they turned into clothes and perfumes. Yeah, the Trafford Centre did have a good phase when it first came out. It first became a thing. It wasn't a bad place. It was interesting. But then it just became Chav Central. It just became real kind of like chavvy place to go, and you're like, yeah, I don't want to ever go there again, thank you. It was at one point it was a nice alternative to the Manchester Rondo. It's like when McDonald's first appeared in the UK. When I was a kid, if you're out shopping with me, if you were out shopping with my dad, but if I was out shopping with my dad, and you know, we might go out shopping and stuff, and then we'd stop at because I was a little kid, we'd stop at Wimpy's and get like a Wimpy special grill. That was my treat. If I'd been a good lad all week, you know, I'd been at school and stuff, and that was my treat. How's this attached now? And then McDonald's came in, and to our young minds, McDonald's was amazing. I need to drill this barrel, don't I, first? McDonald's was the nuts when I was a kid. It was like so unusual and foreign and alien to us. We were like, wow, this is amazing. What is this nonsense? Nowadays, of course, McDonald's is just a grim place where you get a hint of food with your burger. McDonald's is the place you go when you've been in the pub and you're a bit wobbly wibbly, and you just need to nip out to McDonald's, have like 5 cheeseburgers, and then nip back to the pub because you get the middle of the session munchies. Yeah. Same thing. Trafford Centre, when it first opened. Anybody outside the northwest of England who won't know what the Trafford Centre is has got no idea what we're talking about. When it first opened, it was an amazing place because it had some good stores in there. Now it's just Chav Central. Just chavvy things. This, we need to drill out the barrel. Drill out the barrel. Now, this is going to be challenging because it's a tiny barrel. And I'm going to screw it up. I'll screw it up and I'll be like, George, you're not getting a heavy stubber. Tiny drill bit here somewhere. That one. Be a bit too tiny, I think. That one will be fine. Yeah, you wouldn't get me going to a Trafford Centre now. The thing is, as I've got older, I've become less and less comfortable around people. It's a weird thing to say, but it's true. It's like, I don't hate people. I do hate people. People that I don't know. You guys obviously fine. But people that I don't know in real life are generally, most people, how can I put this? Most people are idiots, and I don't want to be anywhere near them. Online, of course, is different because you have the chance to get to know someone and you can realise they're not idiots. Put me in a social setting and I instantly am not happy. Because I'm not... Oh, squeaky times. I'm not comfortable in social settings. As I've got older, when I was younger, I'd go out to clubs, I'd go out to the pub, anything like that. As I've got older, I have no interest in that kind of stuff. I don't want to be around other people in the real world. I don't mind online. But real world, yeah. I think as I've got older, I've met too many people with no redeeming features. And you just get a little bit jaded, I think. Can I go bigger than that? Maybe a little bit bigger. You people are fine. Oh, thanks, says Ian Thompson. You know what I mean. No heavy stubber, stupid ferret. I'm working on the stubber right now. This is the rear gun. Always have a good rear stubber. That's exactly the same size drill bit, Fox, you dingleberry. Can we afford to go a little bigger, or will this break the internet? Might be able to go a little bit bigger. Maybe. I don't know. Let's risk it for a biscuit. I could just widen the barrel with the old knifey blades. Not quite centred. Nothing ventured. Nothing destroyed. I mean gained. That's going to be pushing it. That's going to be pushing it too close to the edge. Let's not do that. Let's get the old knife blade on the job. Yeah, as I've got older, I've become more jaded, I think, and I've learned to, or grown to have little tolerance for my own species, which is sad, really. I think it's just as well, depends. If you go to the Trafford Centre, there are so many people there who are not the sharpest tools in the box, you know what I mean? Again, not everybody, but there are so many absolute chuds. It really is like mall trash. Which is why I tend to stick to doing things online all the time. Because online, I just do what I do and enjoy doing. I do this, you know, I do what I love. The people that are attracted to the kind of stuff that I do are the intelligent types, the smart people. You know, the ones with a bit of depth and intelligence and not just chuddy mouth breathers. So it's doing, you know, doing all this kind of stuff online is my way of... Oh, I left that out of my spoon. Is my way of interacting with the world in such a way that it filters out most of the, well, filters out all the chuds. The only time I get any interaction with chuds now is pretty much with a silly comment, which just gets blocked. Yeah, there you go. So you guys are spot on. If you follow my stuff, then it just means you're a smart person, basically. Because the stuff we do, the stuff I do on here, your average mouth-breathing chud isn't going to have any interest in any of this. It's not football or beer or shagging. They don't really care. So this is my little protected ivory tower on this channel, in this world. I'm here. Undesirables can't get in. Yes, let's have a look at chat. I'm still an idiot. I'm a bass player, of course I am, says Raging Modeler. Hell is other people, says Osric. Yes, absolutely. Most people are you, says Muse. Absolutely. And this is the thing, I've said this before about this hobby that we share. For a lot of us, any kind of artistic hobby, you tend to find, at least I tend to find from my experience, people that are into the kind of things we do, the arts, the creative arts, we tend to be the not antisocial, but we tend to be the less socially interested people. The people that, you know, for a lot of us, we don't really want to go out and do the mingling and social interaction. And, you know, to me, I don't mind going to the pub with my friends occasionally, but if I do it all the time, it's just boring. It's just sitting in a pub with your mates, which is fine, but all the time, that's not life for me. We used to do it when we were younger. Now we're older, it's like, yeah, that's not a good use of my time. But the people that they just live for going out on the rouse with their mates, and that's it. Yeah. It's not a life, guys. I don't know. It's hard to explain. It's just, without sounding cynical and bitter and old, because I am old and bitter and cynical. There's too many people now that that's got a massive mould line on it. Too many people now that just, they seem to just be a waste of oxygen. As you get older, you get quite, I assume this is the same for other people, you know, get quite jaded about these things. This is why this channel and this videos that I do and my live streams and stuff, they're my little ivory tower, my little inner sanctum of happiness, because I'm doing something I enjoy, I'm doing something I love, surrounded by people that I like and respect, who have a liking of the same things that I have a liking of and understand what I'm doing, and there you go. A bit of a detail there that's been filled in by a nub remain, so I'll just scrape that out. I've got to be careful on this bit because it's a little sort of panelly detail, but it's got a big mould line right down the middle, or a seam line. If I sand that flat, and then go in with my scribing tool. Gotta tell you, two tools you want to buy more than anything else: scribing tool and the Citadel mold line removal tool. They are the best tools you can have for so many different things. Now that's a little rough where it's been sanded, so what I can use is my extra thin just to very gently smooth off the edges where I've scribed it. Perfect. Always use your extra thin in ways you never thought of. I'm old, bitter and cynical. I've earned the right to be able to deal with the entirely too many morons, says B3. Yeah, I think we all have. We all have. We've all been around long enough now, most of us, that we've earned the right to just, call bullshit when we see it, which is all the time. Fox, that doesn't bode well for the species. The gene toe dippers are gaining in numbers. I know. I'm a social introvert, says Eon's Car. Welcome, Eon's Car. I think the nature of our hobby, you would probably find that most of us are introvert. Because you wouldn't, by its default nature, a hobby that requires you to sit, or a passion that requires you to sit at a desk or bench all the time by yourself, doing tiny things that require a lot of time and patience and not doing anything else, by default you're going to be introverted. I think that's the best way to think how it goes. Does this actually attach now? Like that, your spoon. No? Yes. No? Yes. Goes on there. Heavy stabber glued. Yeah, I mean, there's too many spoons around nowadays. But that's why I'm happy just to carry on with this. That's why I'm so grateful. And I'm not doing this to link to it again. I'm doing this genuinely. This is why I'm so grateful to my patrons and my channel members and people that support this channel financially. Anybody that does super chats and stuff like that, purely because you guys are saving me from having to go and do a daily grind job that will put me in a place where I would have to deal with spoons and actually, on a daily basis. After 25 years of call centre work, that's not something I want to return to, if I can help it. And without my patrons and my channel members and everybody else who supports me, none of this would even be remotely possible. There you go. I've put that pointing up, so what it means is when I have to eventually ship it to George, it's going to be an absolute pain in the goddamn balls to pack this. I may regret that. I probably will regret that massively. We'll put it at a jaunty angle because there's always a jaunty angle. Or shall I leave it not glued on for packing, for shipping? No, because if I don't glue it on, it's going to be sitting around in a little bag and it'll be a pain in the bum in my storage while I'm waiting to paint it. So we'll just glue it on. There you go. Yeah, I think by our nature, in this hobby, we are all introverted, introspective, a little bit socially awkward penguin, some of us. Some more than others. Eon's Car says, I still love seeing my girlfriend and family. Yeah, there's always, basically what I find is in my world, I've got a little circle in which is me and all the people that I care about. And then outside that circle is everyone else that I don't care about. And occasionally somebody might work their way in from outside, but they have to work hard to do it. But, they'll work their way in and then they'll become part of that inner circle. But I'm not saying I'd stay, in this room forever and never speak to another human being. Of course, I want social interaction, but as I've got older, I play it safe and I do less and less meeting new people and more spending time with the people I already know because it's safe. Kind of thing. I live in University Town, says Muse. No way in hell would I go to a bar here. Have to go to other places for a decent crowd, music and drink. Weebadoodle says, I've been told I'm a boring waste of time for not liking going to pubs but enjoying sitting in a cafe and drawing. What they're actually saying is it's not that you're boring, it's that they're shallow and pointless and have no other things to enjoy other than sitting in a pub drinking beer. That's kind of shallow. If that's all they can do for fun, then you've got the more exciting life, trust me. I only leave the house when I need to, otherwise I'm happy in my own little world, says Muse. Absolutely. I don't really like going to the store, but I need food and things, says Lynn. Exactly. I don't like leaving the house for any reason, because partly because I'm just lazy. Although I did, before the entire world got locked down, I was forcing myself to walk to the corner shop rather than actually get in the car and drive the 3 yards to the corner shop. Weebadoodles. Fantasy, sci-fi, creature design, and my own characters and dinosaurs. Dinosaurs is always the correct answer. If anybody's ever wondering how to get into my inner circle of happiness and security, liking dinosaurs is always the first step. It's like a password on my gate. I want to come in. What's the password? Dinosaurs are not rubbish. And that'll do. You're in. Or just correctly pronounce Parasaurolophus. That'll get you in as well. There you go, George. So you've got Storm Bolters, Twin Link Storm Bolter, I think it is. Is it? Let's have a look. I think it's a Twin Linked Storm Bolter. Twin Heavy Bolters. So I assume they're Twin Linked. So it's Twin Linked Heavy Bolters. Storm Bolter. Heavy Stubber. I think there's more weapons to come, but Heavy Stubber. What I should have done is put the Heavy Stubber. You've actually got the parts for another Heavy Stubber. I could have put one on either side. That would have been cool. Yeah, anyway. What's next? Next we have a choice of more things to build the turret. More weapons for the turret. I'll just mark them off as done. Where's my pen of marking things off? That's that one. The turret, it says here, the turret can be assembled with either a heavy onslaught Gatling cannon. I think we've answered the question as to which weapon we want. You can have a las Talon, which is a laser gun, or a heavy onslaught Gatling cannon. If you're given the choice between a heavy onslaught Gatling cannon or a las Talon, I think everybody knows you're going to have to go for the heavy onslaught Gatling cannon, because everything else just sounds rubbish. So you're going to have the onslaught Gatling cannon, George. Not just that, it's a heavy onslaught Gatling cannon. Again, decide which you wish to use before gluing the components together. The auto launchers and Fragstorm grenade launchers can also be assembled with the flaps down or up. This has no effect in the game. Choose whichever you think looks best. Do not glue the turret to the chassis of the Repulsor tank. Okay. Right, so yes, you're having, George, the heavy onslaught Gatling cannon, because that name just makes everything else not relevant. Got two parts on these other two sprues. One is a box, and one is this thing, 102. I'd really like to get rid of these sprues, to be perfectly honest. But if I take this piece off, it guarantees I'll forget what piece it is. Do I get to use it on the turret? Probably do. Just have a quick look through. It's quite fussy, this turret. It's quite, as in there's a lot going on this turret. Oh, it's a spare greeble. It's a greeble. Right, tell you what we're gonna do. Before we do this, let us put. We've got one part on here and one part on it. They're both greebles. So let us cut these off and get rid of these sprues and throw these sprues out into the bin. I'm sick of having sprues sitting around. Yeah, the turret looks quite cool. It's got like so much going on. The turret looks spiky bits and boxes and guns, and it's quite fussy and busy, and I like that. And a dude. Is there anything else on that sprue? Is that sprue now empty? That sprue is now empty as my bank balance, pretty much. There we go, that can go there. Lovely. And this one is another little greeble. I don't know why I'm making the nipper noise. For my Mr. Hobby, Mr. Tools, Mr. Nipper, Mr. Dobelina, Bob Dobelina. Yeah, that's all them off. Excellent. Destroy those sprues later. Chat. Cannon Foxy. Yep. I don't think I've used Weeby Doodles. I'm doodling an Oviraptorosaur based Aarakocra right now. I don't know what an Aarakocra is, and I don't think I have. I used to be on the Patreon, but money said no. No, don't worry about it. I would like more details on the noodle mats, says Malcolm Childs. I will. I can't do it. Yes, I can. Yes, I can. Tell you what. Stay there. Don't go anywhere. Since I clean my computer, I can actually do two things at once. Let me go to Amazon. Let me put my other glasses on so I can see. Let me go to my orders. On Amazon. Am I signed in on Amazon? Orders. Let's have a look. Noodle. Search for noodle. That's just noodles. Okay, let's look at rug. Doesn't actually say noodle in it. Right, there we go. I shall now put that in my store. Do. 1 sec. There. Yeah, right. So let me now put this in the chat. Which I have to go here. Exciting, this isn't it? Watching me do a thing. That there, and click on that there, and I can paste it in chat. There. It doesn't actually say noodle in it. That's why it probably got a bit hard to find. Yes. If anyone's outside the UK, I can add it to my US and Canada store as well if you want. But I've got two that I use. I've got two on the floor at the minute. I always use them in pairs because one is quite nice, but two is extra soft flumpiness for your feet. Because I tend to sit barefoot quite often, various reasons. But I tend to prefer to sit barefoot, and of course my feet get really achy if they're on a hard floor. So a couple of those noodle mats, as I call them, noodle rugs, the chenille mugs on the floor, nice soft padding. Plus they're kind of nice and fluffy, and they catch things. If it falls on the floor, it just stops. Good for catching things. Where are we? Dan Creator is a great looking turret. Anio, biscotti chicken. Aarakocra are bird folk from Dungeons and Dragons. Oh, okay. I know nothing of Dungeons and Dragons. Shaggy mats, what's not to love? What colour do you recommend for the most anti-plasticness? Well, they basically come in grey. So I'd go for grey. It doesn't matter. As long as you've got... if something does fall to the floor, as long as it's not the same grey, if you've got a torch, you can look. But the best thing is, if you do drop something that's in the mat and you can't find it, you just shake the mat and it pops out. Of course, all the other things that fall in the mat, you have to shake them out once every week or so, just because they will collect bits of things, food and animals and children and stuff, and bits of plastic. So yeah, put it under your desk where you work. Give them a shake occasionally. I need to get one of those. I lost a couple of parts this weekend. But they're really nice as well. If you've got like a wooden floor or something like that, or any kind of hard floor surface, they really are nice on your feet. They really are nice. They're actually, we originally got some for the toilet, because we've got a separate toilet and bathroom. We got one as a rug in front of the toilet. And I was like, that's really nice and soft. I'm going to buy like 5 for my... So I've got 2 under the bench here. I've got 2 under my computer desk, and I've got 2 in front of the Xbox where I sit and play my games. Because my feet are quite delicate, you see. If you're in the US or Canada, I will see if I can add one to the stores. If anybody out there now is looking at them and you're looking at your US or Canada versions and you find the similar thing in the US or Canada store, send me the link to it and I'll add it to the store. Saves me looking for it. Send me a link and I'll add it to the store. Right. Let us make the heavy onslaught Gatling cannon. Heavy onslaught Gatling cannon. 6, 5, and 4. Excuse me, do you do a medium onslaught Gatling cannon? I need to do an onslaught, but I don't need to go full whack. I just need to do a slight onslaught. Do you do a medium? No. Heavy onslaught only. Are you sure? Yes, only that. 6 and 5. 5. Yes. Is that 6 and 5? I hope... Look at that. They've moulded the gun on the sprue there with the details so you can tell what it is, but the numbers on that side. It's not complicated, is it, GW? You could just easily have... You know, I've make things more complicated than they need to be sometimes. Do you do any kind of mild onslaught? More like a suggestion than an onslaught? No. Heavy onslaught only. And I need 4. Booer. Where's number? There it is. Reminds me of the cannons on heavy arms. This. Oops. Ping. That little bit. The mouth of the Gatling reminds me of the cannon on heavy arms. Chest guns. Chest Gatlings. Gatlings of the chest. We'll also need 46 and 45. 46. And also 45, which could be anywhere. which could be anywhere, which are... Luckily, we've only got one sprue to deal with now, so hooray! 46 and 45. I've seen 46. It's not that one. No, okay, I haven't seen 46. There's 46, and next to it, 45. Wow. Both next to each other. What are the odds? Yeah. Lots of lenses and targeting lenses on these, which are good fun to paint. I must admit, I'm not a big fan of the painting lenses with lots of flat colours to make it look like I'm trying to paint a shiny glass effect. I'm much more a fan of painting lenses with transparent colours to just look like something shiny, rather, you know, like when they paint like a dark colour, then a light colour, then a light colour, then a white dot to give a lens effect. I'd rather actually just paint silver and then a transparent colour and then gloss it. I'm not a big fan of that. It's like an almost non-metallic metal way of painting lenses, if you know what I mean, if that makes any sense. I don't know. Chat says, I'll have to have lunch and do some shopping. See you guys. Says Paul, take care, my friend. Take it easy, buddy. I used one of those turrets as the front of my Nerf spaceship, says B3. There you go. Sounds about right. I'd love one of those mats, but my dogs would steal it. Then get one for your dog as well. Facebook model makers, boom hut, Weebadoodles. At Weebadoodles, says Lynn. I don't, Weebadoodles, why? I don't think Fox will mind you posting your art to the boom hut. Oh no, you can post your art. The boom hut it's the model makers boom hut, but it's my group and I call the shots, and I'm happy for anything creative to go in there. You know, we've got people doing diamond art, we've got glass blowers, we've got puppet makers. It says model makers, but it's basically makers. It's the makers boom hut. It's just model makers boom hut. Sounds better, or rattles off the tongue better than makers boom hut. Yeah, absolutely share your artwork. Nim puts her artwork in there, and I put mine up every now and then. Absolutely share your stuff in the boom hut. I shall put a link for the boom hut for you, assuming it works. Yes, it worked. Yay! Somebody sent me a link to the US store rug. Cool. I shall add that after the show. It'll take me but moments. Chest Gatlings. I think that's what I'm going to use instead of bosom now, says Weebadoodles. Yes, look up Heavy Arms. It has a pair of chest Gatlings. They'd be the chest heavy onslaught cannons. Somebody's the link, the comment moved, but somebody sent me a thing saying I've put it in. I've sent you a link for the. Wow, words, Fox. Goddamn words. Somebody said I've sent you a link for the rugs. Whoever that was, thank you. I shall put them in the store after the show. Did you send me an email? I don't know. Whoever it was. Oh, there we go. Dan Kramer. I sent you a link to the rug in the US store. Cool, thank you. Did you send me an email or a message on Facebook? I shall sort that out as soon as the show finishes. Takes me but a moment. If you're in Canada and you want to pick up one of those rugs, again, if you find it on the Canada Amazons, drop me a link with that product and I'll add it to my store for you. If you buy stuff from my Amazon stores in the US, UK or Canada, it is an affiliate link, so I do earn on selected items. It doesn't cost you anything extra. You're just buying the product as normal, but it helps support my channel. You're getting the thing you wanted to buy anyway, and it helps indirectly support my channel, so feel free. Links in the description below this video to all 3 of my stores. All that pimping makes me uncomfortable again, being British. Heavy onslaught Gatling cannon. But again, though, if this is just a Gatling cannon, if it's not shooting bolter rounds, which are basically explosive bombs, then isn't it a bit feeble against armoured enemies? Wouldn't it be a bit rubbish? I suppose it doesn't do any harm to have extra things being thrown at the bad guys, but I say bad guys, it is 40k. Let's just be honest about it. Bad guys is not really a thing in 40k, is it? Everybody's a bad guy. Yeah, but I can't tell you the number of times my bacon has been saved by my noodle rugs. Piece falling off. Oh, only once or twice have I lost a piece and never been able to find it. Does help when it's like the Falcon build and it's like white parts on a dark grey rug. That's kind of a bit better. Comfy on my feet is there as well. Good for my feet. You like me and you sit barefoot a lot indoors then. Then you'll know. This little mould line is a seam line then. In fact, let's not file it, let's mould line remove it. I have a mould line removal tool. Let me use it for mould line removal. Meant for. Let's use it for what nature intended. Yes, if you're in Canada or the US, I did try and find these, what are they made by? The Viltrox lights that I'm using. There's a few people have asked when I mentioned them. But I just could not find them. They're in the US and Canadian stores, but they were just not in stock. There were other Viltrox lights in there, so I think I've either gone for similar things or off-brand Viltrox lights, because there are some of the Viltrox lights that are a bit more expensive, but they're like bigger. You can't beat them. The price. Right, knob right on that little raised detail there. Yo. Very dare you. Have a look at chat in a moment. Is that a nub or is that just discoloration? No, it's just discoloration. That's cool. It's difficult to see it sometimes. You get little stress marks in the plastic. It looks like you've got like a big bit of something that you've cut out and gouged and you have to go and clean up, but sometimes it's just a little bit of a stress mark on the plastic. If you look at it in the right light, in a stark light, you suddenly realise there's nothing there to clean up, which is always nice. Tiniest of seam marks, mould lines. Dispatch with all haste. Now, don't forget tonight, I'm assuming Ted is going ahead with it, but I think tonight, instead of Chris's Warhammer Sunday, which is his Sunday stream, it starts at 8:30, 8:30? 8 o'clock, 8 o'clock. I've forgotten now. Instead of Chris doing his Warhammer Sunday, it's Ted doing Ted Blade. Ted's doing his Baneblade. It's his turn, I think. Correct me if I'm wrong, Chris. But it's Ted doing his Ted Blade Sunday. There's a magpie outside my window shouting. What are you shouting at? Muttering at something. It's on my windowsill. My windowsill's like that wide. There's like window and windowsill, and they sit on that, and I can hear them like squishing against the window, doing things. Quite cool. Sometimes I open the window and there's just a magpie right there. Hello, magpie, and they look at me and go, oh, and they panic and fly off. The wood pigeons try and do that, but they just crash into the window and leave back big wood pigeons shaped marks on the glass because they're idiots. I like magpies. But yes, anyway, tonight, yes, Ted is doing his Baneblade, I think. Ted's not here to correct me if I'm wrong. So don't forget, of course, tonight's viewing, if that's the case, tonight's viewing will not be on Gross Models channel, it'll be on Skipper Scale Models channel. Make sure to check your subscriptions, because you'll already have liked and subscribed to Ted's channel anyway, because of course you will. So make sure to check your subscription feeds. Now, a lot of people don't know this. Here's the thing for you, because a lot of you don't know this. Now, I don't know how it works on mobile and on tablets and stuff, because I refuse to use YouTube on mobile and tablet because it's garbage. I do everything on desktop. I don't understand these people that use tablets and phones for everything. Anyway, you may not know this, but when you go to YouTube, in the top left corner, there's various menu options. One of them is subscriptions. And if you don't do this already, I know most of you probably do, but there are people that don't know this. When you want to go and look for stuff on YouTube, when you think, I want to watch some YouTube content, what you should do and get in the habit of every day, click on that tab, click on that menu option, and that will show you all the content from all the channels you've subscribed to available for that day. And it will show you any videos that have been uploaded by the channels you're subscribed to. And it will show you any live streams pending or otherwise. It'll show you if, say for example, I schedule my stream at 9 o'clock in the morning for 3 p.m. in the afternoon. Then if you go in at 10 past 9 in the morning, you'll see it there on your list of subscriptions for today. It'll have all the videos that have been uploaded and also live streams that are due to go ahead. And then when the stream is finished, it will just say, you know, it'll have a normal video link on it. It won't be a pre-live link. And you can see the same for like the day before and the day before. It goes back about 3 or 4 days normally. And it's a good way to catch up with content from your favourite channels. But not everybody knows that. In the same way, not everybody knows about playlists. So if you've got a lot of channels that you follow and you're always like missing out on content when they put new videos up and stuff because you don't follow them on Facebook or anywhere else, just make sure to check your subscriptions feed once a day at some point. It's a very quick way to, instead of just going to each channel that you subscribe, because I know people that actually go to all the channels one by one. They've got 20 channels they follow and they click on each one. Any new videos? No. Next channel. Any new videos? No. Yeah, and that's why you want to click on the notification bell when you subscribe to someone, because it just means it's a better chance that it will appear in your subscriptions feed. So if you don't do that already, make sure to do that at least once a day. That way you never miss out on content from your favourite channels and content creators. What we're doing. When you said Warhammer Sunday, I wee my pants thinking that I should be at work, says Lynn Dipple. Don't. Ted Blade 8:30, says Chris. Yeah, so 8:30. Although Ted often likes to start at 9, so it's quite nice that he's starting at 8. Ted on his channel, I assume, will be working on his Bane Blade. Boom. I think he might even be at the point of painting. I don't even know. I'm not sure, to be honest. Now, this Gatling, there are some nubs, but there's also the great big seam down the middle. What I shall do is leave the nubs for the moment, because I'll deal with them when I clean up the great big seam down the middle. So you know how this works. And what we'll do is we'll get this done, then we'll call it a show once this is done, because there's not much more to do after that. Well, there's lots, but I don't want to start a new thing. We're going to take the Gatling. What was it called again? The Heavy Onslaught Gatling Cannon. And we're going to glue this together. So I've got it loosely held together. Splob of glue. Splob. A splob of glue here on that side. Bit on the end. Bit on the end. I'm being quite generous because I'm going to be sanding on here, so it doesn't really matter if I go too heavy. What we're going to do now is we give it about 10 or 15 seconds, and then swish. And I can see there that little bead of glue squidging out. That's the gold dust. That's the money shot. I nearly said something else then. Family friendly, Fox family friendly. That's the money shot right there. I know I explain this every time and you all know what I'm doing, but there's always a chance that somebody's watching this that doesn't know what I'm doing. That's the money shot. Tamiya extra thin melts plastic to weld it together. Welds it together by melting it. When you squeeze the plastic together, if you give it 10, 15 or 20 seconds and then squeeze the plastic together, it means the glue's gone in the gap, it's melted the plastic, you squeeze it together, the plastic, now liquid, goes out the top. And when that sets, it's just polystyrene filling the gap. You can sand it back and you have an absolute, completely filled gap, filled by the kit's own plastic with no effort. But you have to give it that sort of 5, 10 or 15 seconds at the start, just give it a chance to melt the plastic a little bit. Otherwise you don't get the bead. It's all about the bead. There you go, that's that. squidged. Come on, show me your bead. Put that there for a second on the metal there, where it's not going to get attached to anything. We can make the little doohickey that goes on the top, lid on the glue. I can glue the front on it as well, can't we? That's the point. You've also got to be careful handling it when you do that for the first few minutes. You don't want to put your thumb on the bead of glue and squish the bead of plastic and squish it down. So have a care, as they used to say when firing cannon. Yes, the plural of cannon is cannon. I love some of the medieval terminology, you know. Like when they were firing a cannon, they would say, have a care! And that means they're lighting the cannon about to fire. And a way of saying, in the old day, in the medieval times, you might all just go, cheers, and have a swig of beer. In the old days, one of the phrases was, wassail, drink ale. I can't remember what wassail meant. I think it means like, it's like saying cheers. Wassail is like saying cheers, good luck, stay safe, don't die. Wassail, drink ale. Wassail, and then you all go, drink ale. I think we should all start doing that when we do go to the pub occasionally. We should all start saying things like wassail, drink ale, and nobody will know what the hell we're talking about. And we'll just think it's brilliant. This needs to go in there like that. Okay, that's fairly simple. Bit like me, fairly simple. Such a glue. More than enough. A minute. Then that attaches to the gun of happiness, and that's the heavy onslaught Gatling cannon done. Make that out of the way. Of course, we'll have to go back and take that mould line off. The mould line we just made. You're basically making a mould line out of your splodge of glue, isn't what you're effectively doing. So that needs to glue on the top. Apparently. Not really seeing how that's going to attach. Boo. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Not. Is it supposed to go on the front or the top or what? It doesn't show the. Unfortunately, the instructions show the vehicle with the las cannon, not the heavy storm surge Gatling cannon. I'm not exactly sure where this scope goes. It looks like it says just stick it on the top, but that looks a bit rubbish. What? Does it go on the side? I think it goes on the side. I think there's like a little nub there, and I think it literally just spongs on like that, which is a bit pants. Except that's not the side. A bit pants. A bit half-arsed. You could have put a little recess in there specifically for that bit to lock in. But, I don't know. It's yet another one of the parts on this kit where they say, just wing it. Attach it where you need it. Okay, so that would sit on there, I assume. It's how it sits on the other one, on the laser weapon, so. Look. He says tonight should be the last bit of building, says Chris about Ted. Okay, debeed, says Mayhem. Okay, I know, I'm still tired. I fixed Tweety some food and then rinsed the cup out and put it back in the refridge. Oh well, never mind. So I try to put every time I make a cup of coffee, I often try to put the screw top thing from the milk on top of the coffee jar. And like, no, that's completely the wrong size. Right, so I guess that just loosely fits on there, which is kind of a bit pants. We'll stick it on. It says to do that. We will do that. I can do this. I don't like it. No, sir, I don't like it. I want to touch the bead. Bead. You're gluing two flat surfaces together, but with no real peg and hole or anything like that. There's no... It's just a small surface area. It's a bit short, and they're not exactly 100% flat, let's be perfectly honest. It's a bit shonky. They could have put a little square recess in the side, just specifically for that bit. It wouldn't have hurt them. I don't have great confidence that that will never actually snap off. I do have massive confidence that it will actually snap off at some point. But hey, ours is not the reason why. Ours is just to build the crap out of these things. I now can't touch this for like a week. And then it comes off. Yeah. Tempted just to take that little nub off and just have it flat. Flat surface, I don't know. Oh, up and it comes off. Yes. Does not want to stay on at all, that. That's kind of garbage. Kind of garbage. In fact, what I'm going to do, I'm going to, I don't like doing this. I'm going to snip that off. I don't like filing things when they're covered in glue, but I can always sand the glue marks away. I'm going to file that flat. And I'm going to attach it. Because that's not going to stay on for more than about 5 minutes. Otherwise. And it looks perfectly fine. It's just like you stick it on the side and it has the little tiny square of plastic that makes it stick out a little bit. Which, you know, I can see why they're doing that. They want it to look like it's attached on a little like rod or arm. But it's the contact point is so small, it's just going to fall off after about 5 minutes. Feel much more confident with it stuck on like that. Now you watch now, it won't actually fit on the vehicle. It's supposed to go on the turret. I bet it doesn't stay on the turret now properly. Let's do a quick test then, just to make sure. Now that I've actually glued everything. It's not that I doubt Games Workshop. It's just that I doubt Games Workshop, given what I had to go through with the front bit. Given the fact that if you follow the instructions, your hull doesn't go together properly. That sits like that on there. Goes underneath that. It goes in there like that. And that's too far back. Hang on, is it supposed to go on the side then at all, or is it not supposed to go on the... Okay, so it's supposed to sit like that. Which is completely fouled by the armour on the vehicle. Even if you did want to do it that way, it's kind of... Wow, that's just kind of garbage. Unless it's supposed to go on the top, but the instructions don't make it clear. That is just absolute nonsense. So it has to stick massively forward anyway. So the instructions don't tell you any of that. Another point in the against column, isn't it? Or in the con column. Yes, okay, that's better. It doesn't foul. Yeah, if this thing is, because it looks in the instructions like it's supposed to go on the side, not the front. But I don't know. I don't like it. I don't like it being there. It doesn't do me any favours. Not helping me out. But that's the way it seems in the instructions. Now I know with that little tab in place, it probably would stick out a little bit further and be a bit easier, but still, yeah, that little tab, it's not going to stay in place. I don't think it's going to stay in place there, but we'll see. I shall leave it alone and let the glue set properly. Not even going to stay on there now, is it? Buying out for now. I have stuff to do and try to be back in time for Ted Blade. Cool. Catch you later, buddy. Right, well, I've already made such a mess of this now. I'll just try and some sort of recovery out of it. I can't do it there because it's touching the actual barrel. That makes no sense at all. Really makes no sense whatsoever. It could go on the top, but even then it's got no contact point on the top either. I don't understand how they expect you to get this to go together. It barely fits in by itself, never mind with the other thing on the top. Just like that. Another reason to not like this kit. Okay, well the only option I've got is to fix that gribbliness that I've left behind later. Somehow glue this. Yeah, unset by now. This way. There's a little bit of a 45-degree angle. It's a tiny part of it. Tiny area of the cannon there. I'll have to sand the living crap out of that though to clean it up. But it's these vague instructions. I do wish sometimes they'd just give you clear and concise instructions. That's the only way I can see that fitting. I'll have to sand that little greebly bit there where I've made a mess of it, but that's fine, that's not a problem. Well, shonky. Oh, well, never mind. It came good in the end. Edward Leonard's in. He says, hello, welcome Edward Leonard. We're just about to finish. I do apologise. Timing is everything. I'll have to leave that there for a while and let it just cure fully. When that glue's dried, I'll have to clean up that side there and that bit there where all the glue's gone manky. It's fine. It won't take... It's easy to fix. It's just a bit of sanding, that's all. But yeah, it was a bit rubbish, that. Well, it was a bit show. It looks a bit silly now, but hey, what can you do? Over here, trying not to glue myself to a tiny soldier's gun, says Muse. Always the way. Right. Anyway, so that's that glued. I'll leave that for a while and then I'll clean that up later. What I'm going to do, I'm going to take my glasses of building off. And we're going to call it a show, I think. I think that'll do us. I've only got 15 minutes anyway. I should just see if my buttons are still working.
Slap it on.
Yeah, my head button works.
Slap it on.
Head button definitely works. That's annoyed me, that. 3 things about this. There's 3 issues I've had with this kit now. Yeah. If I do make another one of these, at least I know kind of what to expect now, but yeah. For a modern kit, I've had more problems with this than pretty much any other Games Workshop kit aside from the Space Marine bikes. I don't know. Anyway. Let's have a look. I've been lurking, just super busy, says Edward. Oh, jolly good. Malcolm says, thanks, Fox. Good show. Thanks for the company. More than welcome. I'm here every Sunday and Friday and Saturday. Thanks for another great show, Fox, says Lynn. Thank you very much. Yeah, we'll leave it there. I'll go and swear about this one later. I make these mistakes, so you don't have to. I will be back, of course, tomorrow for the eModels live show at 9 o'clock tomorrow night. emodels.co.uk, your one-stop shop for all your model making needs. It's Ted's What's in Store tomorrow night, I think. And then throughout next week, I will start painting the second episode of the Tabletop Trauma Centre. That first episode will be available for everyone tomorrow morning, or from tomorrow morning. So if you've been waiting for it to come out of early access, do go and check it out. If you're a patron on patreon.com, or you're a YouTube channel member, You will have been sent the link to watch it on Patreon. It's a post on the Patreon page. You'll have had a notification with the link to watch it. If you're a channel member, it's on the community tab on my... If you go to my channel page, there's like, videos, playlists, community. Click on community. There's a post on there for members only. You will have got a notification if you've got notifications turned on. There's a link in there where you can watch it. Or just go to the members only playlist. Go to my channel, playlists, members only playlist. It's in there. If you're a channel member, you can watch it. If you're not a channel member, it'll ask you to become a member to watch it. It's in there. If you want to watch it advert free for the next sort of 12 hours or so, go. If you haven't done already, go and check it out. Make the most of your membership or Patreon patronage by watching the free stuff. But that's going to do me because I need to go for a massive, massive great wee now. So I shall go and crack on with that later on. Take care of yourselves. Don't forget to tune in to Ted later on at 8:30 for Ted Blade. It's worth watching. I will see you all tomorrow. As always, take care of yourselves. Go make something awesome. Go be awesome. You there, not you, but you. Not you, not that one there, you. You there, looking at the finger, that one. Yeah, go and be awesome. And until next time, I shall say, take care of yourselves. Adios, amoebas. Oh, hang on, what am I doing? Hang on, my buttons have fallen over. 1 second. Adios, amoebas.